Good evening and welcome to Labatt Memorial Park here in beautiful London, Ontario on this great day for a special presentation of London Majors Baseball. We're getting ready to celebrate Canada Day. I'm your host, Justin Koehler with MajorsTV, and we're incredibly excited to have you here at the ballpark today. The Majors are just coming off a tough loss in yesterday's game in Toronto against the Maple Leafs, where they fell 7-6. Now sitting with a 12-6 record, which is still good enough for second in the entire IBL. Today is sure to be a tough matchup where they welcome the Barrie Baycats into town, and they currently just sit a half game back of the Majors, good enough for third place. And what feels like these teams have been neck and neck pretty much the entire course of the season so far. And so, should be a great matchup on a great holiday and one of the fan favorites here at Labatt Memorial Park. So without any further ado, let's send it up to Ty and Dylan in the Game Day London press box. And gentlemen, it's a beautiful day here for a holiday and a game here at Labatt.
It absolutely is, Justin. Thank you. It is a terrific Canada Day for baseball. Ty, you could not ask for any better weather as we welcome you inside the Game Day London broadcast booth. Dylan Baker and Ty White with you for the action tonight, and this is the BP8 Fitness pregame show. Ty, Majors trying to bounce back after what was a tough loss yesterday at the hands of the Toronto Maple Leafs, getting walked off on a wild pitch in the 11th inning.
Yeah, what an incredible sequence that was to end the game. Very back and forth throughout the whole game. Majors only lost by one, though, 7-6. Important to note, obviously, Jose Arias, the big ace for the Majors, was on the mound last night, and he had 8 strikeouts to his name, I should say, allowed 3 home runs. Now, if it was at any park other than Christie Pitts in Toronto, most likely he would not have let up 3 home runs in that one, so the stats were a little bit skewed. That being said, they did have a big bright spot, and Caden Cardoso went 4 for 5 yesterday on a 2-game home run streak and an 18-game hit streak, Dylan.
We're going to talk a little bit more about Caden Cardoso later on in the broadcast, but you see the two managers meeting up right now. Both of them know this is going to be a big matchup between two of the top teams in the Intercounty Baseball League so far.
Yeah, the second and third teams respectively in the IBL this season. 12-6 London, 11-6 for Barrie. It's very much the battle for second place tonight behind Welland in first. And this is an important game, Dylan. Two really arch-rival teams starting off the dog days of July and August, where teams really test their longevity in this Intercounty Baseball League season to see who will reign supreme towards the end of the season. It's a huge indicator, and it's really time to put up or be quiet.
Majors manager Roop Chanderdat understands this is a big test for his ball club. He said as much to Justin Koehler in today's Roop's Report.
All right, so I'm here with co-owner and GM Roop Chanderdat. Roop, would you say it's a great day for some baseball today?
Labatt Park, sunny day, July 1st. Great day for baseball. I'm so excited about the game.
And it should be a good one, too. As people know, it is Canada Day, and it's also one of the biggest events that Labatt Memorial Park has throughout the course of the season. It's fan favorite for sure, but what's it like as a team being able to play on such a big holiday as Canada Day?
You know, first of all, we're lucky to be in Canada. Great country, and, we get to celebrate it here at Labatt Park, playing baseball. What more could you ask for, in front of our great fans? So, and then you see fireworks after. So we're excited about the game. It's a huge game to play on Canada Day.
Should be a whole lot of fun. And next, a lot of people at home may not know, but today there was also a couple inductees into the Hall of Fame. What's it like playing for a team that has such a reach and in-depth history as the London Majors?
London Majors go back a long time. Great players, great tradition. Scott and I are lucky to be part of that tradition, and we want to keep it going. So these two inductees, well-deserved, and, our alumni does a great job in organizing events such as this, and we're happy to have them and be part of the alumni.
Two spectacular players, and we will be talking about them as we progress with a bit of today's broadcast. And last question for you, a bit about today's game in general. The Majors are playing the Barrie Baycats, one of the teams that the Majors have been neck and neck with, it seems, almost the entire course of the season so far. What are you expecting in today's matchup?
Great pitching, great defense. They like to run. They can hit. They're just a well-rounded team. You have to be ready to play full 9 innings if you want to beat Barrie. I mean, they're just a superb team, and it's a good test for us, especially at home here at Labatt Park.
Well, it should be fun. Fun day, great matchup, a lot of excitement today. And so let's send it back up to Ty and Dylan in the Game Day London press box to continue with the rest of the pregame show.
Justin and Roop, thank you. As we get set for a big game, we talked about how the Majors are coming off a tough loss of their own against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Same case for the Barrie Baycats, who lost to Brantford yesterday.
Yeah, 2 losses to Brantford in the last, 5 or 6 games for them. And something I'd like to mention, Dylan, in their last 10 games now for the Barrie Baycats, they're averaging 6.5 runs per game, but allowing 5.1 runs as well. So they're scoring, but they're really getting scored against. They have 4 losses in their last 10 games, and in 3 of those losses, they allowed more than 9 runs. So when they're losing, they tend to lose pretty big. If they want to win tonight, in a close game it should be, against the London Majors, they really have to keep that tally down. and pitch very well, and they have the arms to do it. I mean, amazing pitching between Cesar Rosado, Benitez, and Garces. I mean, Rosado has 4 wins, leads the IBL in ERA. He's a really big name, so they definitely have the arms to be one of the top teams in the IBL, but they really got to keep, when those big names are not on the mound, they got to keep those numbers down.
We saw one of those big names on the mound here the last time the Baycats were in town in Frank Garces, who had an absolutely phenomenal performance for Barrie in that game. The Majors played a home-and-home with the Baycats that weekend, and they split that series in 2 vastly different games.
Extremely different. The only 2 games those teams have played against each other in this entire season. First, it was at home, as you mentioned, a 4-0 loss the Majors took to the Baycats. Then a huge bounce back in the home-and-home series. They won 14-9, completely changing the tide, going from nothing to 14 runs. So we have seen 2 astronomically different games. This one is a complete toss-up tonight. It's really anyone's contest. And it was also really interesting to note that in this last contest, that 14-9 game, both teams went through 6 pitchers. And obviously, Roop Chanderdat enjoyed that because he got to see a bunch of his bullpen guys get time to get out there, including some different starters. So this game tonight really should be a close contest, but we really have no solid prediction for what can go here tonight.
On the note of pitching, let's take a look at our starting pitching matchup, brought to you by Throw London, London's original night throwing. Carlos Sano and Travis Keys. Let's start with Keys. Ty having a fantastic year for the Majors.
I mean, he really, really has. 3-1 record, 2.41 ERA on the year. That's top 5 in all of the IBL. A .99 whip. He's really become a 1A, 1B with Jose Arias for this Majors team, and he is just becoming more and more reliable for this squad, showing why he's not just one of the best pitchers for the Majors, but in all the Intercounty Baseball League. On the flip side,
sorry, Ty, go ahead.
It's okay. As you mentioned, Carlos Sano from Bajos de Jaña in the Dominican Republic, 6'4", 230 on the mound. Now, Dylan, he's not one of their top 3 pitchers, but he has got a lot of time for them. He's last amongst Barrie pitchers with over 20 innings pitched in ERA with a 4.61 so far. But Dylan has a plethora of experience in the pros. From the San Francisco Giants organization, he spent time from rookie ball all the way up to AAA. Spent time with the Tri-City Valley Cats in the Frontier League in Quebec, played in Mexico and the Nicaraguan Winter Leagues. So no shortage of experience here tonight.
Carlos Sano, a very experienced pitcher, going against Travis Keys, who's been stellar this year. This has been the BP8 Fitness pregame show. Functional strength training for every body. We'll take a quick break and be right back on Majors TV.
London, Ontario, the world's oldest baseball grounds. Now through Labor Day, book your guided tour and walk the same field as Ty Cobb, Fergie Jenkins, Honus Wagner, and some of baseball's most legendary players. View artifacts from over the years inside the original 1940 clubhouse. Experience baseball history in London, Ontario. Book your guided tour at Labatt Park.
The best of the Intercounty Baseball League descend on the Rose City on July 20th as the 2023 Dominico Cup champion Welland Jackfish and Welland Stadium host the 2024 Intercounty Baseball League All-Star Showdown and Home Run Derby. For ticket information, visit wellandjackfish.com/all-star or call 905-735-9834. Welland Jackfish Baseball. Fans first, fun always. Get hooked.
Beautiful rendition of the national anthem there by Sandasha Bow as we are nearly set for baseball at the Forks of the Thames between the London Majors and the Barrie Baycats. In case you're just joining us, Ty, let's catch you up on what this matchup means. It's a big one for the standings. The Baycats sit just a half game behind the Majors. These two teams have been stellar to start the year.
They really have been two of the best teams in the IBL through the first couple of months of play. London sitting in second, Barrie sitting in third. They're 1-1 between each other on the series of the year. This is the third game the teams have played, second now in London. So it really should be a close one tonight. Obviously, we mentioned 4-0 in their first contest and 14-9 the second. We really don't know what to expect tonight, but hopefully it'll be a good one on a really lovely and packed house here for Canada Day.
We can expect two teams that are going to be itching to get back in the win column after losses that they both feel they shouldn't have taken in their last games yesterday, as Jacob Thomas throws out the ceremonial first pitch to Byron Reichstein to kick things off on this Canada Day. Ty, this is your first Canada Day with us here on Majors TV. Lots of festivities. We saw the Law Enforcement Special Olympics torch run come through here, the London Majors Hall of Fame induction ceremony, inducting Alf White and Frank Coleman into the Majors Hall of Fame. A really special experience, isn't it?
Very, very special. And as you mentioned, obviously with the alumni inductees, their enshrinement in the Hall of Fame here in London, it means a lot, the history, and especially what this game means to the town. I mean, it's so obvious. Everyone is so potent with energy. It's ecstatic, a really, really good atmosphere in the ballpark today. Everyone's celebrating Canada's, I believe, 157th birthday. So this is a really special place. And honestly, the weather has been just absolutely perfect. Just a pitch-perfect day for baseball.
You look at the crowd there, it is a good one, as everyone should expect on this Canada Day. It's always a real big game in terms of numbers and attendance. There's obviously the fireworks after the game that go off around 10 p.m. just beyond the outfield fence. Fans are welcome to stick around and watch the fireworks from the grass. I mean, it's a special, special day here at Labatt Memorial Park, and you couldn't ask for two better teams to face off. These two teams know each other very well. They're very familiar with each other, and it should be a great contest today as you see the Majors take the field in their special Canada Day jerseys. You've got Maple Leafs on the sleeves and on the back of the jersey. The numbers are in blue, so too is the lettering, and the red hats for the Majors as Travis Keys gets set to throw his warm-up pitches. Let's take a look at the lineup that he's going to have to face in today's game for the Barrie Baycats, led off by Kenise Ijo.
Kenise Ijo followed by in right field Noel McGarry Doyle, and then Ryan Reho's DHing today. Malik Williams playing third base, Nolan Macabroda at first. Adam Obb is shortstop. Hayden Jaco, the catcher, top 5 in average in the Intercounty Baseball League this season. Noah Hall in left field, and Brad McQuinn at second base.
We apologize, the lineup you see on your screen there, it does not have the correct positions on it for the Barrie Baycats, but that is the correct order on your screen for today's game. Ryan Rio is the designated hitter, not the right fielder. That should have been the biggest giveaway for this Barrie Baycats lineup. But this is an offense, you mentioned it, Ty, that's going to be a real tough test for Travis Keys. Keys has been phenomenal all year long, but the Baycats are white hot as of late.
They are really, really a strong team. Such a good record, especially on the road. 5-3 on the road, Dylan, so they are no stranger to winning games, not at home playing in Barrie. And Travis Keys really does have his hands full here. I mean, two really, really prolific hitters on the team. A lot across the board. As I mentioned, Hayden Jaco. They have 2 players who are top 5 in the league in average so far. A lot of guys who can get on base. But Keys has been extremely solid over his last several outings. And as I mentioned, has really proved himself to be a 1A, 1B situation for the Majors ace, right alongside Jose Arias. So, I mean, he has his hands full tonight, but it should be a good contest and a really good test for him.
Really, you could say it's a 1A, 1B, 1C situation with Victor Payano's pitching right now. His ERA down to 2.1 on the season. But zeroing in on Keys, I want to talk about that whip that we mentioned off the top. You mentioned when we were looking at our pitching matchup brought to you by Throw London, the walks plus hits divided by innings pitched under 1. Keys does not allow very many base runners, and that'll be a telltale sign of whether he's on today. If he's letting guys on base and wiggling out of it, he may not have his best stuff, but for the most part, he doesn't let guys on.
He really does it, and it's extremely amazing to consider, Dylan, that he has those statistics with over 37 innings pitched. I mean, the sample size is rather large, and he's been doing a really phenomenal job all season long. And I think it's rightfully so that he gets the nod today in front of this extremely impressive crowd, almost like a hometown crowd for Travis Keys. We've talked about that in the past. And on a very, very special Canada Day against one of your toughest opponents of the season. So he has his chance to prove himself against Kenise Ijo, who's leading things off.
We have a bit of a delay here as some of our Special Olympians are still getting off the field down in the right field corner. They were just getting ready to start before Majors manager Rup Chanadad ran out of the dugout to let Kenise Ijo and Justin Snively topping the home plate umpire know that we can't quite get going yet.
They locked them out, Dylan. It looked like
really?
it. Oh, they locked them in, I should say.
Well, let's get to the umpires for today's game. Justin Snively-Topping is the home plate umpire and the crew chief. Bob Blake is over at first base, and James Deacon is the third base umpire for today's game. For the Baycats due up this inning, it'll be Kenise Ijo, Noel McGarry Doyle, and Ryan Rio as the Special Olympians. The last of them head off the field here. We are nearly set for baseball.
Ijo leading things off. He's had a great season so far, Dylan. Hitting .382 with 29 hits to his name.
First pitch from Travis Keys. Line straight back at the backstop by Kenise Ijo. Happy Canada Day to everybody tuning in on Majors TV. Dylan Baker and Ty White with you in the booth. Justin Koehler at field level. We're thrilled to be here on this terrific Monday evening for baseball. 0-1 count here. The pitch on its way from Keys. Ijo takes that one there for a strike, and it's 0-2.
Good, confident fastball. Keys has really got a fantastic arsenal, which has really helped him improve his stats this season, considering he's one of the best pitchers in all the IBL. He's got really technical, clean stuff.
Swing and a miss, strike three. Phenomenal start for Travis Keys as he sets down Kenise Ijo on 3 pitches. He's got a strikeout.
Well, that's exactly what you want to start off Canada Day for your ace, Travis Keys. Sits one down immediately. It was really, really clean stuff. Nothing wild off the plate. He was ready for that first performance, and he's showing us why.
Keys is always around the strike zone when he's successful. He's got another tough bat in Noel McGarry Doyle, who comes to the plate. McGarry Doyle rejoined the Baycats later this year as he takes a first pitch strike. But in the time that he's been back with Barrie, he's been fantastic.
He has in 29 at-bats. He's hitting .517, Dylan, which obviously the sample size not fully there yet, but extremely impressive.
0-1 home from Keys. McGarry Doyle gives this one a pretty good ride to left field. Joseph was in, now tracking back, gets turned around, falling, and the ball is loose. McGarry Doyle around first. He will pull into second and stay there. We'll see how they rule that one, but the Baycats have a runner in scoring position with 1 out of the first.
Well, that was a tough play the whole way there. It looked like it wasn't going to be from the start for Starling Joseph, but he had to backtrack rather awkwardly out in left field. The sun might have played a factor there in the end, but he dove back. It looked like he had the ball at first, Dylan. Then it came out of the glove eventually when he took that tumble. But nonetheless, the first man on base today, McGarry Doyle with a double. As you mentioned, we'll see how they rule it.
Appears to be ruled a hit here, so it'll be a double for Noel McGarry Doyle, and he's in scoring position for the big bat of Ryan Rio. First pitch from Keys on the way will miss for ball 1.
Rio on the flip side struggling a tiny bit this season, hitting only .185, but he does have 10 hits to his name. Has struck out 13 times, Dylan.
Here's the 1-0. Rio off the end of the bat towards the backstop, and it's 1-1. Rio, former draft pick of the Philadelphia Phillies back in 2018. Longtime IBL vet, has consistently been a solid performer, but you mentioned it, Ty, struggling to start this season. Trying to get on track now as he plays in his 15th game of the year. The lefty Keys delivers the 1-1. Swing and a miss, 1-2.
Barrie's another team that's really, really good at the small ball, just like the London Majors are. We talked about that in the last game, where they're able to move guys forward into scoring position, obviously favorably right now. McGarry Doyle on second. I wouldn't be surprised if he just advanced the runners here, Rio, and potentially looking to score at least 1 to get things started off.
The 1-2 home from Keys. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Eduardo De Olio holds on to that one, and it's 2 strikeouts in the first inning, 2 down.
Travis Keys looks really good out there right now. Obviously, that only hit against him from McGarry Doyle should have been caught probably in the end by Starling Joseph. On the backtrack, it looked like not the toughest ball out in left field to get. But nonetheless, 2 strikeouts to his name. He's been clean, he's been calm, and he's been ready.
So Malik Williams into the batter's box now. Williams batting .423 on the year. Brother of former Major Josh Williams. Malik has spent parts of the past couple of seasons with the Baycats. Here's the first pitch from Keys. Misses for ball 1.
Probably one of my favorite players on this Barrie team because he's a really, really tough at-bat, Dylan. He's walked 8 times this season already.
And only struck out 6 times to go with that, right? He's not a guy who strikes out a whole lot at the plate. The 1-0 from Keys. Misses, 2-0. Williams spent some time with the Ottawa Titans earlier this year of the Frontier League. 2-0 count as Keys peeks back and delivers. Misses high, 3-0, so Williams in the driver's seat.
As I mentioned, tough at bat against Malik Williams. Keys attempting a breaking ball high and outside there to drop in and get a bit of a chase, but Williams not biting.
The left-hander readies on the rubber, trying to work back in this count. The 3-0 home, ball 4. Travis Keys wanted no part of Malik Williams there, and he'll take a 4-pitch walk.
So his 9th walk of the season. As we mentioned, fittingly, he will get on base. And a tough at bat there. Tough opponent to face if you're Travis Keys. Situation still favorable, though. 2 outs for them at the top of the first. 2 men on, so a plethora of scenarios where the Majors have an out.
Force out on at any base as Nolan Macabroda will step into the batter's box. Lefty-lefty matchup here. First pitch from Keys, cut on and missed for strike 1.
Macabroda, another player on this Baycats lineup, hitting over 300 on the year, 317 with 13 hits to his name, but he has struck out 10 times.
3 home runs as well for the left-handed bat. He lines this one back up the middle. Charging is Drew Lawrence. It'll drop in front of him, and he boots it out in center, so McGarry Doyle will come in to score with ease, and the Baycats are in business. They lead 1-0.
Well, a really good hit. You could hear the pop off the bat there from Macabroda. And just getting around McGarry Doyle. He gets on first with a single. In the end, it was a tough play for Drew Lawrence out in center field. The ball was bouncing, and the sun looks to absolutely be playing a factor right now, Dylan, gleaming on into the center field area. And unfortunately for him, the pick just wasn't quite there, and it gave more than enough time for McGarry Doyle to prance home.
Lawrence botched that one in center field. He's got a good arm, so he may have had a play on McGarry Doyle at the plate, just couldn't come up with a throw. 2 on, 2 out as Adam Odd steps into the batter's box. Here's the pitch from Keys, up and in. DeOlio thought about the snap throw, but Cardoso wasn't at the bag.
And we've seen him do that a lot this year already, Dylan. Wouldn't be surprised if he made that throw over. Majors have done it tons of times, especially coming from DeOlio, and they've often recorded that third and final out with it.
Here's the pitch from Keys. Odd skies this one, foul territory, giving it a look as Victor Plaz. And these grandstands have really filled out here, Ty.
They have.
Somebody is going to get a souvenir on that play, and there's going to be a lot of souvenirs tonight.
Usually we just have to give a fair warning to anyone sitting out there, but more than enough heads will be aware of balls flying towards them. Foul. As you mentioned, I think a fair few souvenirs will be given out today.
Odd fouls this one off. It's not going to be a souvenir as it bounces back onto the field. 1-2 the count.
It's a tough situation here, but I think a good situation if you're Travis Keys. You're playing well, 2 strikeouts to your name, but 2 men are on base. One's already scored. Important to show that you have your composure about you and can calmly get this third and final out for the Majors, leaving men on for the Baycats.
1-2 home, called strike 3. Odd can't believe it. Keys gets 3 punch-outs in the inning, but the Baycats, they do strike first. It's 1-0 Barrie.
So Barrie, as I mentioned, pretty good with that small ball, but it would be nice to see if Drew Lawrence had made that play in center field, how that arm would have looked getting home. Nonetheless, would have been a tough play in the end, but Barrie playing good small ball to get things started off, advancing runners. Scored 1, as I mentioned, Dylan. I think that's very, very important to their tally. But the big test really comes here. And right now facing Carlos Sano. How is he going to be able to deal with the pressure in this game? Is Barrie going to be able to keep that tally down? We know they can score a lot of runs, and that's been their problem, is allowing runs. Too many games have been too close, and they've gotten the bad end of plenty of them, giving them their 6 losses throughout the season. As I mentioned, allowing 9 runs or more in 3 of their last 10 losses, or 3 losses in their last 10 games, I should say. So a good test for Sano. But I have to say, so far, I have been impressed with Travis Keys. 3 strikeouts in his first outing. Very, very strong performance.
Realistically, he should have been out of that inning a little bit earlier. Joseph booted that ball in left field. Lawrence couldn't come up with a single in center. So the Baycats lead 1-0. Let's take a look at the lineup that Carlos Sano is going to have to face in today's ball game. For the London Majors, Drew Lawrence back at the top, and Tommy Reyes-Cruz slotting into the 2 spot.
Good to see Reyes-Cruz back in lineup as well. Caden Cardoso in third at first base. Obviously, Cardoso coming into this game on an 18-game hit streak. 2 home runs in his last 2. Starling Joseph in left field. Eduardo De Olio still top 5 in all the IBL and home runs with 5. Sitting at catcher, Byron Reichstein in right. Victor Plaz on third base. Gibson Kresminski in second, batting 8th. And finally, the DH today, Brad Verhoeven, who DH'd in the last outing against the Barrie Baycats and had 2 hits to his name.
This Majors offense hit 4 home runs in the loss yesterday, Ty. All of them solo shots. One from Starling Joseph. Joseph was a 2-run home run.
Yeah.
Then Cardoso solo shot, DeOlio solo shot, and Victor Plaz a solo home run as well. Normally, I was talking to Majors manager Rube Chanadot. You hear 4 home runs in a game, you think, how much did you win by? And the Majors lost.
I know, it was really bad timing, I should say, in some of those home runs. Obviously, they did have scenarios where they had a couple men on base, bases loaded at one point, but they were not able to quite capitalize on those situations, and that's what came back to bite them in the end. You always hate to see that, especially if you have the potent bats that the London Majors do, but good sign that a lot of players are starting to go deep now, and those home runs are starting to tally up, because as we mentioned, Caden Cardoso, apart from 2 games prior to this little home run streak that he's on right now, he hadn't hit a home run since till the beginning of the season. Similar case with Starling Joseph, and those runs, home runs, those deep balls are now starting to come at an important time. So a good opportunity to build off those performances.
First pitch from Carlos Sano will miss for ball 1 to Drew Lawrence. It'll be Lawrence, Reyes-Cruz, and Cardoso in this first inning. Sano working quickly. The 1-0 home is there for a strike. It's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Drew Lawrence having a pretty good year, appeared in 13 games so far, hitting .345 with a .486 on-base percentage.
1-1 from Sano. Lawrence swings through that one. It's 1-2. More walks and strikeouts for Drew Lawrence as well. 6 walks to 5 Ks this year. Baycats right-hander looks into the windup. Here's the 1-2 home. That one's going to miss off the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Time called at the plate by Drew Lawrence. So no varying his timing. He went very, very quickly on the last few pitches, then holds on for a long while here. We'll see if he works quickly, and immediately into the windup. Here's the pitch, breaking ball. Lawrence will take low. Sano never left the mound when Lawrence called time.
He didn't. He looks quite focused out there right now. Very eager, as I mentioned, Dylan, in the starting rotation for the Baycats. He is that 4th player right now, especially when the numbers come in and in ERA. Walks Drew Lawrence right there. So he does have a lot to prove, but this is a big opportunity for him against such a fantastic offensive team like London.
So leadoff walk for Drew Lawrence. That'll bring up Tommy Reyes-Cruz to the plate. Reyes-Cruz hitting .255 on the season. Had a double yesterday against the Toronto Maple Leafs at Christie Pitts. Did strike out twice, has a base runner to lead off the ball game here. Lawrence is a threat to run over at first base. Here's the pitch to Reyes-Cruz, in there for a strike.
We talked about this a little bit in the last broadcast, Dylan, but London have so many players that are capable of stealing those bags. Really, really fast lineup, and that's extremely good if you're a small ball team like they are.
Baycats thinking along those same lines as Sano throws over to Macabroda, and back with a dive is Drew Lawrence. Lawrence has 5 steals this year, has yet to be caught. Jaco, the catcher for Barrie, does throw well. Here's the 0-1 home. Reyes-Cruz gets jammed on the hit and run, hit towards first. Macabroda will spin, flip to Sano. Lawrence is going to take off for third. The throw from the pitcher is not in time. Heads up baseball from Drew Lawrence. He'll take 2 bases on a ground out.
Well, we just talked about the speed of Drew Lawrence, and he knew right away, Dylan, there was no hesitation in that hit. The dribbler to the second baseman, Brad McQuinn, that in the end, Drew Lawrence was going to turn the second bag and make his way over to third because he had the speed, got there in more than enough time, a clean slide in there as well. And just like that, the Majors are in scoring position to tie things up potentially.
So runner at third for Caden Cardoso. This is the spot you want to be in if you're the Majors. Big bat at the plate, runner over at third. It was a hit and run. Reyes Cruz got jammed, hit it towards first, and Lawrence never broke stride around second. Picks up 180 feet on that swing. Cardoso looking to extend his hitting streak to 19 games. Has yet to go over in a game this season. First pitch will miss to Cardoso, 1-0.
Cardoso really has a knack, a very patient player at the plate, waits for his pitch, gets a good feel for what's coming towards him, and he's really been hot lately, as you mentioned. 18 potentially on 19 game hit streak here, and what a time to do it on Canada Day in front of this crowd.
2-0 count to Cardoso. Cardoso had a big game yesterday for the Majors, went 4 for 5 in Toronto, including a home run.
An opposite field home run too, Dylan.
It was, yeah. The right-hander sets as Lawrence dances over at third. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss from Cardoso, 2-1.
Nice pitch, a little bit of movement on it there, and it had a good amount of velocity to it from Sano, and they need more of that.
2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Lawrence standing over at third for the Majors, trying to tie this ball game up here in the bottom of the first. Cardoso on the ground, right back up the middle. Gets the hitting streak out of the way and cashes the Majors' first run in the ball game. We're all tied up in the first.
An RBI single from Caden Cardoso, as you mentioned, now a 19-game hitting streak. The hottest player, perhaps, in all the Inter-County Baseball League. Gets the quick man, Drew Lawrence, across to score, and we're all square 1-1 early on. This promises to be a good contest, Dylan.
It absolutely does. Majors and Baycats both getting the offense going early as Starling Joseph will step into the batter's box for London. Has a runner over at first and 1 out.
I like how calm, as I mentioned previously, Cardoso was with that at-bat, because you knew that anything that was going to make it remotely past the infield would have gotten Drew Lawrence across to score, and that's exactly what happened. Played it extremely well, and now the dangerous Starling Joseph's up.
Joseph rips this one to left field, and it's going to get down for a base hit. Cardoso around second, charging for third. Here's the throw from Hull. It's not in time. It's a double for Starling Joseph, and the Majors have second and third with 1 out.
Well, this crowd is fired up in downtown London for this Canada Day game, and a booming hit right away off the bat of Starling Joseph. So the Majors' big performers coming up when it counts. Caden Cardoso and Starling Joseph off to a hot start. That's exactly what they need. They got that momentum now, Dylan. Still only 1 out to Barrie's name, and the Majors potentially adding more damage here.
So Eduardo De Olio into the batter's box. 2 for 4 with a home run yesterday against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Has 2 runners in scoring position. Only 1 out. The corners are in here for Barrie. First pitch is there for a strike to De Olio, 0-1.
You'd like to see Sano get a bit more command over that fastball. Work it across the plate. Some stuff inside. It's mostly been down the middle.
0-1 home. That's there for a strike to De Olio, and quickly he's in an 0-2 hole.
Yeah, De Olio watched that the whole way through, trying to get a feel of it early on in his first at-bat. And the second fastball from Sano, again down the middle.
No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Sano looks in for the sign, comes set. Trying to get a big second out here. The pitch. On the ground, back towards the pitcher Sano. On the rubber, he'll look back Cardoso. Throw to Macabrota is in time. And so the Baycats keep the runners where they are and get a second out.
I think that was the really first clean performance that we've seen against a batter from Carlos Sano. Trying to work his fastball even further, and he got the early chase from Eduardo De Olio on the third pitch that was slightly more inside. Chased it and chopped one right back to Sano for the early out at first. Over to Nolan Macabrota.
So 2 gone for Byron Reichstein. Reichstein had a tough game yesterday, was 0 for 6 with 4 strikeouts. Has a big opportunity here to cash for the Majors and give them the lead. Here's the pitch from Sano. Reichstein skies it. Foul territory. Jaco and Malik Williams going after it. It's the catcher Jaco tossing away the mask and making the catch to end the inning. The Majors press but can't get more than 1. We're tied at 1 aside after the first on Majors TV.
Welcome to Labatt Park in London, Ontario, the world's oldest baseball grounds. Now through Labor Day, book your guided tour and walk the same field as Ty Cobb, Fergie Jenkins, Honus Wagner, and some of baseball's most legendary players. View artifacts from over the years inside the original 1940 clubhouse. Experience baseball history in London, Ontario. Book your guided tour at Labatt Park Tours.
When you need a night out, Throw London is on point. With an atmosphere that's a cut above, Throw London brings together the best in knife throwing, axe throwing, and darts. So it's the perfect spot for a date night, night out with friends, leagues, and team building for the office. You've got to be 13 or older to throw pointy objects and 19 plus to enjoy their fully licensed offerings. It's the best spot in London for some fun with an edge. London's original knife throwing. Check them out at 2190 Dundas Street East and online at ithrow.ca. That's ITHROW.ca.
Back here on Majors TV, you see some of the fans decked out in their Canada Day gear. There's a lot of red in this crowd, Ty, as we continue on into the second inning.
There certainly is. And speaking of red, player's been red hot this season. Hayden Janko next up at bat for the Barrie Baycats. Really good game so far. He's hitting .381. As I mentioned, top 5 in all the IBL, alongside another one of his Baycat teammates. And a good opportunity here to add a lot more offense to what we saw. Good sample size, first of all, in their first offensive outing from the Barrie Baycats. They've done a fairly formidable job so far, already getting 1 run to their name, and only allowed 1, so even blows across the board. And Travis Keys checks back in. He's done also a good job doing 3 strikeouts already to the Aces' name.
Travis Keys had a very strong first inning, struck out 3 batters, gave up 2 hits. One of them was a strange one into left field that Joseph couldn't track down, and another just dropped right in front of Drew Lawrence. He'll have 7, 8, and 9 in the Barrie Baycats order here in this inning. Jaco, Hull, and McQuinn.
Jaco also has 16 hits, 10 RBIs, and 3 homers this year. Only struck out 4 times and has walked 11, Dylan.
Jaco's been a tremendously difficult out as the first pitch is in there for a strike. 0-1. Jaco fouls that one off 0-2. Member of the 2021 IBL champion London Majors, Hayden Jaco. Always a fun guy to be around, a guy who really takes his conditioning seriously, is always in the gym, Ty, working out and getting in better and better shape.
And it really shows with his numbers.
0-2. Here's the pitch from Keys. That one misses, and it's 1-2.
A lot of incentive for Keys to have another good game today in front of this hometown crowd for him, especially because, Dylan, I believe he's leading the entire London Majors team with 2 MVP awards after the game.
That one popped foul. That is how you measure player success.
That's exactly how you measure player success. Looking for that third one. Definitely more of a clubhouse statistic there.
1-2 count here to Jaco after the foul ball. Travis Keys trying to put him away. Left-hander sets, looking for strikeout number 4 in the ball game. The pitch. Off the end of the bat towards second. Krasminski initially broke back, now comes in. Throw to Cardoso is in time to get Jaco, and there's one gone in the top of the second.
Solid stuff there. Got Hayden Janko to chase the pitch a little bit too ahead of itself. And in the end, it was a very easy ground out over to Gibson Krasminski and then flipped across to first to Cardoso. So Keys strong outing against one of the toughest members to face of the Barrie Baycats. That'll be a big indicator if they'll come out on top tonight.
Noah Hull into the batter's box here for Barrie with 1 out in the second inning. First pitch from Keys on its way. That one just missed for ball 1. Deolio not sure where it was. Left-hander Keys looks in, comes set. Here's the 1-0. Swung on and fouled off at the plate there, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Noah Hall, another formidable player, batting .310 on the year, but he's had his trouble with strikeouts. 10 against him. And was only walked 4 times.
1-1 count here in the dirt. I think that one just squarely caught the foot of the home plate umpire, Justin Snively topping. DeOlio had no piece of that one, and it's 2-1. Keys up at 27 pitches here through an inning and a third. Here's the pitch. In the air, foul territory, drifting towards the parking lot, and it will get out of play. 2-2.
It was a pitch that was incrementally moving outside. Was chased, got a little bit of a hack on it from Noah Hall. Fouled himself off, kept himself alive. But a good pitch from Keys.
The 2-2 home on the ground foul, and we'll try again on 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And that pitch was more of the same from before off that toss from Keys. I'd like to see a bit of a fastball now, something more inside to perhaps jam Noah Hall.
2-2, 1 out. We'll see if Ty's prediction's correct, just as it was on Friday night. Fingers are crossed up here in the booth. The lefty deals. Fastball up and in, fouled off.
Nice pitch. I think if if Noah Hall had potentially left that would have been called for a ball. It was fairly inside. Nonetheless, he takes a swing at it, fouls himself off, and lives to fight another day.
So we'll try again here on 2 balls and 2 strikes. The lefty Keys sets. Kicks, delivers. Breaking ball on the ground towards first. That is a foul ball. And we'll try one more time on 2-2.
Much better on that pitch inside, and it had movement on it, a breaking ball from Keys. And he's done a good job, specifically at this at-bat against Noah Hall. You can really see on full display the technicality behind the pitches of Travis Keys and how he's able to work the plate to its entirety. And I'd like to see a pitch potentially chasing low and away.
2-2 one more time. Keys trying to put away Hull. The pitch in the air, flared, over the head, applause. It's down for a base hit in left field.
Yeah, that was a good pitch, I thought, in the end. That was low and away from Travis Keys, looming down to that left-hand side of Noah Hall, but he took just enough of a piece out of it to pop it over the head and parachute it over Victor Plaz. Would have been a tough play in the end, a tough catch to make, and he had to backtrack a bit on it, but the angle was slightly strange, caught him off guard, and Noah Hall lands himself on first.
Wasn't hit overly hard off the bat of Hall, and Plaz couldn't track it down. So Brad McQuinn into the box here. Keys throws over to first, and he had everybody fooled, including his first baseman Cardoso, who bounced off there momentarily. Back safely is Hull.
Quinn's walked 5 times on the year, only struck out 3, and is hitting .200.
Swing and a miss from McQuinn there, 0-1, or swing and a foul off, I should say. McQuinn trying to push Hull over. Number 9 hitter for the Baycats. Lefty Keys kicks and deals. Inside, it'll be in the dirt and miss for ball 1.
I think the Majors need a little bit of a confidence booster here, Dylan. A double play would be really favorable, considering you had earlier Drew Lawrence dropped a bit of a pick. Starling Joseph fell backwards, and then that ball got over the head of Victor Plaz. The defense needs a bit more of a regular work and to get in their routine.
The double play would also help keep the pitch count down for Travis Keys, sitting at 35 pitches through an inning and a third here. A little higher than where he'd like to be. 1-2 count on McQuinn. Left-hander Keys peeks over at first. Kicks, no, throws over again. Back with the dive again, and safe is Hull.
I like that decision from Travis Keys, just keeping Hull honest in the end. On a bit of a generous lead off first.
Hull dancing over at first. Here's the pitch to McQuinn. On the ground towards second. This could be 2. Krasminski, Reyes, Cruz, on to Cardoso. Double play. Majors get out of the inning unscathed as Keys turns 2.
Nice play there. Great pitch from Travis Keys to force. As I mentioned, Dylan, we're talking about it, and it seems to be happening. The ball dribbled right up to Gibson Kresminski, and it was an easy flip over. More than enough time to throw at Brad McKinn at first, including getting Hall out at second. Great defense by the Majors. That will definitely boost their confidence, and a good showing defensively to keep things all square at 1 apiece.
1-1 through 1. It's been an exciting ball game up to this point. A run in the first inning for both teams, and both teams pressing more than what they got across, right? The Baycats had a couple of runners on in the first inning, a runner on again here in the second. The Majors left 2 guys on in the home half of the first, so there have been opportunities to add on, but these 2 good pitchers have gotten out of it.
They have, but as you mentioned, Travis Keys, that pitch count already a little bit high, especially only for the second inning, well over 35 now. That's something to keep an eye on, but it's nothing strange when you consider these last 2 performances the teams have had against each other. As I mentioned, 6 pitchers used by both teams in the 14-9 outing. So it's more than likely that we'll see Keys on this pace last maybe 6-7 innings total, depending on how prolific of a game he has. But I wouldn't be surprised to see Roop Janardhat get some arms ready in the bullpen.
Ty, let's see. How good's your math? If he's averaging 17.5 pitches per inning and 100 pitches is the cutoff, without your calculator, what's he looking at?
It's a great question, Dylan. I'm a broadcasting major. Not exactly a math major, but I believe he's on the pace for about 5 innings. It would be between 5 and 6 innings.
Yes, yeah. 6 innings, if he continues at this exact same pace, it would be 105 pitches, which is not a bad place to end up. So
not a bad mental math there as well.
Yeah, good job. Good job, Ty. I'll give you props for that. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Keys looking to continue his success in the top of the third, but for now, in the bottom of the second, it'll be 7, 8, 9 for London. Victor Plaz, Gibson Kresminski, and Brad Verhoeven. Third baseman, second baseman, and designated hitter.
Yeah, Plaz in his last outing against Toronto on Sunday had a good game, 2 for 4 with a home run and an RBI to his name. But what really stood out, his last performance against the Barrie Baycats. He had 4 runs, 4 hits, and 3 RBIs. Definitely the best play for London in that 14-9 victory. So he's had good success against the Baycats in the past, looking to repeat tonight.
Plaz had his first home run of the year in that game as well. Successful performance against his former team. The 1-0 is well off the plate outside, and he's in control here 2-0 against Sano.
Now we've seen the Baycats defense help to bail out Sano with a couple of good saves in the end, and he is yet to show us that he can really get things under control. Obviously, we saw Cardoso get on. We saw Starling Joseph with that double. Drew Lawrence scored off a walk. Got on base with a walk and ended up scoring on the RBI single from Caden Cardoso. So as fair few of London Majors have got on against him, and it'd be up to him to show us that he can produce some strikeouts.
3-1 on its way. Plaz in the air foul territory. That one's going to get out of the play, and count runs full of 3-2. Ty, I don't know if you noticed, 3-0 count. There were no ball 4 chance.
Yeah,
big crowd on Canada Day, and there's no ball 4 chance.
And that's really uncharacteristic of the London crowd.
It is. So they've become known for around the IBL. The Ballflowers making their presence felt, but not so far. Here's the 3-2 on its way from Sano. Just off the plate, Sano and Jaco thought they had strike 3. The home plate umpire, Justin Snively Topping, shakes his head. And it's 2 walks to lead off innings for Carlos Sano.
And definitely was a close pitch in the end. Victor Plaz felt pretty comfortable with it, took off the equipment immediately and made his way over. But a bit of hesitation, especially from Sano on the plate. Not necessarily a bad pitch in my opinion. Dylan, he's got really good velocity behind his fastball. He's just having trouble working the plate.
Gibson Kresminski into the batter's box here for London. Kresminski batting over 300 this season for the Majors. On the move from first is Plaz as Kresminski skies this one on the infield. Malik Williams goes to his left and he makes the catch. There is 1 out.
Now that was much better. That was one of the only fastballs that Sano has thrown that was not directly down the middle, or at least in the general area of the middle. A little bit outside, more of a difficult pitch to hit on, especially with his velocity behind him. Kresminski took a chop at it, but it was just parachuted directly towards Malik Williams as an easy out for the Baycats.
So Brad Verhoeven into the batter's box with a runner over at first and 1 away. Good job by Victor Plaz as well in that last play, scampering back to the bag on the pop fly. He was on the move. It was a hit and run.
He stopped on a dime. He got himself immediately. So very, very good base running there from Plaz.
First pitch to Verhoeven. Fouled off, or cut on a miss, I should say, and it's 0-1.
In that 14-9 victory, the last time these two teams faced, Brad Verhoeven was DHing in that one as well, and he had 2 hits to his name.
0-1 count, 1 out. Here's the pitch. Inside and low from Sano, 1-1.
You can see he's trying to get the placement knocked down with these pitches now. That fastball well inside and very low, so looking to hit the sweet spot as the game progresses.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Sano trying to sit down Brad Verhoeven. Quick throw over to check on Victor Plaz. He's back safely.
Good throw, but even better awareness from Victor Plaz. I'm not sure many people were expecting that in the entire ballpark, including myself. It was a really quick turn, a clean throw, and nearly got Victor Plaz out, but he did not have a huge lead. He saw that one pretty well.
1-1 home. Verhoeven skies this one on the infield. Another chance for Malik Williams over at third, and another catch on a pop fly. There's 2 out.
Another good pitch. Hard velocity behind it. And you can really see this velocity is coming into play because, Dylan, the amount of backspin that's being put on the balls, the bat's just not making the best contact, and that's why these are cascading down to the infield. Back-to-back, almost in the exact same spot there from Krasminski and Brad Verhoeven. 2 really easy catches from Malik Williams and 2 good at-bats for Carlos Sano.
3 pop-ups for the Majors so far on offense as it's back to the top of the order, and Drew Lawrence will step into the batter's box. First pitch from Sano. Lawrence in the air, shallow right field. Going to be a tough play. Going out Macabrota, charging McGarry Doyle. It's down for a base hit. Charging to third and getting held up there is Victor Plaz, as it is a bloop single for Drew Lawrence, and the Majors have runners on the corners with 2 away.
Out of all the places in the ballpark for that ball to be hit, that was one of the least expected ones, I think. Just perfectly made its way over. A nice arch that landed directly in a good spot, left of the first base line and directly behind Nolan Macabrota. Awkward angle for him to catch it, and way too far of a run, obviously, for Noel McGarry Doyle. So a nice hit, as you mentioned, a bit of a bloop single, but nonetheless, Drew Lawrence reaches base for the second time.
So Tommy Reyes Cruz at the plate here with Plaz over at third and Lawrence on at first. Quick throw over from Sano. Very close play at first base. Macabrota thought they had Lawrence picked off, but the first base umpire, Bob Blake, says no dice.
And so did Carlos Sano, if you saw his expression on that one. Rather surprised. And he's shown out for the second time in this game that that is a viable option to record it out here for Barrie's side. Really, really quick turnaround. And as I mentioned previously, if Drew Lawrence did not have, or he had more of a leadoff, that likely would have been recorded for an out.
Majors are a likely candidate to put a play on here with runners on the corners, try to get that run home, and that's why Sano's thinking of throwing over. Lawrence not running. Reyes Cruz slices this one into the crowd.
Be careful.
Hope everyone's okay. Looks like they are. Foul ball.
And that's also a good statement, if you think about it, Dylan, from Carlos Sano, because he's showing right away, obviously, the Majors love playing that really small ball type of game with leadoffs and stolen bases. So they can't get away with it as easily, considering how fast that Sano can get that ball over there, and effortlessly, as I might add. So he's giving the Majors a bit of a warning early on.
Pitch will miss high to Reyes Cruz, and the count now at 0-2. Or pardon me, 1-1, I should say.
Going back to that last foul off, that ball was lasered.
It was.
Over.
It was, yeah.
Past the netting area, so fans have to be careful, especially because there are heads everywhere.
1-1 count here to Reyes Cruz. Majors have not put a play on. Lawrence has a bit of a bigger lead this time around. We'll see if he's on the run. Not going. Swing and a miss, 1-2.
Nice fastball, Dylan. Got that one high upstairs and towards the left outside of the plate for Tommy Reyes Cruz. It would have been a tough swing even if he had made contact with it. But it seems like Sano has gotten his pitches under control. Has got the pace and power as well as the precision now behind those fastballs.
Ready is Sano. Quick throw over to Lawrence. They've got him picked off. Macabrota looks over at third. Lawrence in between the bags. Lawrence will charge back to first here. Sano at the bag. It's total chaos and confusion. Macabrota running applause now. Macabrota flips to Jaco. The tag. The ball is held onto. It's in time to get Victor Plaz. As Jaco and Plaz exchange words, and now the Majors bench has been vacated. Here come the Baycats, and some pleasantries being exchanged up here.
On Canada Day, nonetheless, Dylan, this is crazy after that. Obviously did not like the play at the plate, and both teams a little bit displeasured, but things don't seem to be heating up, calming down now.
Majors manager Roop Chanadat, Baycats manager Josh Matlow keeping their players away from the chaos zone here. Plaz wasn't happy that Jaco got mad at him for the slide. Payano exchanging words here as well. Not sure what will come of this, but that will end the bottom of the second inning. So we'll take a quick break and try to sort everything out when we come back. You're watching Barrie in London on Majors TV.
The best of the Intercounty Baseball League descend on the Rose City on July 20th as the 2023 Dominico Cup champion Welland Jackfish and Welland Stadium host the 2024 Intercounty Baseball League All-Star Showdown and Home Run Derby. For ticket information, visit wellandjackfish.com/all-star or call 905-735-9834. Welland Jackfish Baseball. Fans first, fun always. Get hooked.
Get suited up with us for our big night. We went to Collins Clothiers. They had suits and tuxedos in various colors and styles. The staff helped us pick exactly what we wanted. They custom fit our suits for the perfect fit. They even matched us to our date's dress. It was so much fun trying on suits with the boys on the VIP night. They even got us pizza while we tried clothes on.
The prom kids, of course, are going to be the best dressed.
We felt so confident and looked amazing.
TV as the kids run the bases. No contentious slides at the plate for these kids, but there sure was to end the bottom of the second inning time.
There definitely was. It was a crazy sequence, so let's go back and break that down a little bit. Obviously, first, you had the third time in this game that Sano has tried a pickoff attempt, and this time it almost worked. It was catching out Drew Lawrence between first and second, and they had to make a decision. The ball was ultimately got to the hands of Nolan Macabrota, who I think, Dylan, made the right decision there. A bit ambiguous on first what to do. Decided to go home and come over and actually physically ran all the way. Looked like he was going to tag Victor Plaz himself, but ended up making the throw over to Hayden Jaco. Now, Jaco, things got a little bit heated in the end there because he really didn't like the slide from his former teammate, we should add, Victor Plaz, coming in a little late. Now, I do think, in my opinion, that he was going to be out well there. It was pretty far in advance, so he saw the slide as rather unnecessary on behalf of Victor Plaz, and that's why things got a little bit heated, but they calmed down just as quickly as they started.
Yeah, and a good job by the coaching staffs for both teams. Majors manager Roop Chanadat was right in there. Baycats manager Josh Matlow calming things down. Great breakdown by Ty. The result is no ejections at all, so everybody stays in the ball game. Everything will move on. Victor Plaz out at third. Hayden Jaco will be back behind the plate next inning, and should his spot come up in the third, he will hit. So no ejections, just a little bit of a contentious play in the bottom of the second inning. For the Baycats, it'll be the top of the order. Kanisi Joe, Noel McGarry Doyle, and Ryan Rio due up.
He's had a strong first appearance against Ijo, striking him out. But Ijo, a very, very formidable hitter. One of the better players on the Barrie Baycats. Top 5 in the IBL, hitting .382 this season.
First pitch from Travis Keys to Kanisi Joe is in there for a strike, going 1.
Now this outing for Travis Keys, Dylan, it's really going to be about keeping the pitch count down for him. He has to keep it manageable, can't allow as many players to get on base as he did last time. And it really was tough because a lot of the players that he faced took him into the 6th, 7th pitches in the at-bat that he faced, especially Malik Williams. So he's going to have to watch out for players like those that are very standing out and prominent in the Barrie lineup. And he needs to do a good job of, like he did in the first, of recording quick strikeouts.
1-1 count here. Pitch on its way to Ijo, misses for ball 2. Ijo struck out in his first trip.
Travis Keys didn't strike any out in the second inning, all 3 coming in the first.
Here's the left-handers 2-1. Ijo in the air, foul territory. Cardoso will give it a look. That is about 10 or 15 rows deep.
And not even close.
Yeah, not really. 2-2.
From Cardoso's reaction, that appeared like it would drop a lot sooner or perhaps closer to the dugout. that was really far back there, no.
2-2, nobody out.
Should get a souvenir count how many balls are dished out to the fans today.
That one's off the plate outside from Keys, and so the count now runs full at 3-2. Trying to keep the leadoff man off the base paths here in the third is Travis Keys. The left-hander kicks and deals. Ijo in the air, shallow right field. Going out Krasminski, coming in Reichstein. They make way for the right fielder, and Byron makes the grab. There's one gone in the third.
And that was a really fantastic pitch there from Travis Keys because, Dylan, he kept it inside there. If there was no swing from Kanisijo, it would have been a strikeout guaranteed, I have to say. But he made him make the decision, and in the end, it was a bit of a forced hit. Didn't get all the contact that he wanted on it, and made its way quite easily out for a pop fly to Byron Reichstein, recording the first out. And he had a bit of trouble with that in the second inning, changing things around now, and is adapted to the style of play. So, nice job there from Travis Keys.
First pitch to Noel McGarry Doyle is in there for a strike, going 1. We talked about the contentiousness of that play at the end of the second. We've also had a pretty contentious chat in our YouTube broadcast today. We appreciate everybody calming things down now and having a good time as McGarry Doyle pops this one up shallow left field this time, converging our 3 Majors players, and Plaz can't run it down, so it's a foul ball.
That was a really far run for 3 players in that scenario. Victor Plaz, Tommy Reyes-Cruz, as well as Starling Joseph all made their way down that third base line into deep left field foul territory. It looked like perhaps Plaz had a play on the ball there, but he let up a little bit at the end, a bad angle nonetheless. And I'd say that McGarry Doyle's let off with one there.
So 2 count, 1 out. McGarry Doyle trying to make good use of this second life he's been given after that one dropped in foul territory. On the ground, right back up the middle. Going to be a tough play. Krasminski can't quite grab it. And so McGarry Doyle will reach for the second time today.
Yeah, not the best placed ball there if you're Gibson Krasminski over at second, and bouncing one thwarted off the bat of McGarry Doyle, and it got into a tough area enough that it forced Krasminski to make the longer run in the infield. Not able to get the glove underneath it, bobbled it slightly, and in the end, McGarry Doyle again reaches base on first with a double and a single. 2 for 2 now, Dylan.
Triple and a homer away from the cycle is Noel McGarry Doyle in the early going. Ryan Rio into the box again, 0 for 1 today. That one's there for a strike. Rio struck out back in the first inning. Ijo and Rio both struck out swinging in the first, while Adam Odd struck out looking. Pitch from Keys. Misses, and it's 1-1.
Ryan Rio, a really fun player, good personality. Obviously, arguably one of the most known Barrie Baycats. A really, really popular one up north, back near my area, Dylan.
Yeah.
And he has a lot of respect around the IBL.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Taking his lead off at first, McGarry Doyle. Keys will throw over, and back safely is Noel McGarry Doyle.
Keys taking a page out of Sano's book now and trying the pickoff attempt at first. Keeping the runner at first honest.
Here's the 1-1. Rio checked his swing. Went around, says the home plate umpire Justin Snively, and it's 1-2.
That was a nice pitch from Travis Keys. Had a lot of movement on it, sliding outside. Really broke perfectly outside at the perfect time and forced a bit too far of a check swing from Rio.
So McGarry Doyle is lead off at first. Rio down in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. The lefty kicks and comes home in the dirt. DeOlio with the block. McGarry Doyle won't advance, and so the count runs to 2-2.
So we've seen a lot of stuff outside. Potentially a jam attempt here like he did in his last outing from Keys. Looking for something hard and inside.
2-2. Keys throws over again. Back with the dive safely again is McGarry Doyle. That's the 4th pickoff attempt of the game for Travis Keys. Twice he's gone over against McGarry Doyle.
Keys has perhaps taken notice to, as you can see now, out of a generous leadoff at first, making his way back. Being careful, McGarry Doyle, but an ambitious runner to say the least, has scored the only run of the game so far for Barrie.
Rio trying to get him over and potentially across here if he can put a ball deep enough into the gap. Here comes the 2-2. Fouled off by Rio, and so we'll try once more with the same count. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Keys rolled a double play ball back in the second inning. Here's the pitch. Fouled off. McGarry Doyle was running, looking to avoid the double play. I believe a fan just made a catch on that foul ball.
It did. It snuck in through the netting, and the fan made a catch. After that one was fouled off hard by Rio. 2 similar pitches from Travis Keys, both upstairs. An ambiguous position, and I like that from Keys, because if Rio left it, could have been a strike. I thought personally it could have been looming into ball territory.
That one misses 3-2.
But it really forces him to make the decision. And right now, Rio is trying to do anything to get on base or advance a runner. He's taking hard swings.
So full count, 1 out. The lefty Keys comes home to Rio on the ground. Going to be a tough play. Plaus charging hard. No shot at second. Bobbles. Throw to first is high. It's over the head of Cardoso, and it's into right field. Charging around third. Trying to score is McGarry Doyle. Right side picks it up in the bullpen. Throw to the plate is late. It gets by DeOlio now, and Rio will stay over at second base. A calamity defensively for the Majors results in a runner at second and a Barrie Baycats lead.
Just total discombobulation all across that wild sequence. The throw was way too high for Caden Cardoso in the end. Not a ground rule double because it stayed in and hit off a bit of the stanchioning on the side and stayed enough in foul territory for the play to continue. The throw back across could have seen Rio make his way to third, but I don't think he wanted to test out the legs quite on that one.
So Rio now at second. Barrie leads 2-1. Malik Williams stepping into the batter's box on an error that'll be charged to Victor Plaus. Had Rio advanced to third on that throw from right side, we may have seen an error charged to him as well. Here's the first pitch from Keys. That's off the plate outside for ball 1. One 0 count, 1 out. Here's the offering. In there for a strike. It's 1-1.
Now, if you recall last time out, and Malik Willis really made the toughest at bat for the day against Travis Keys. Ended up walking in the end like he's done all season long, 9 total on the year, with very minimal amount of strikeouts. And this is a favorable time for him to be out there. Only 1 out to his name. Or 1 out to the Baycats, I should say. Rio sitting on second, potentially in scoring position. So a lot could happen here to add further onto their tally.
That pitch will miss there from Keys, and it's 3-1. Williams in a good hitter's count and a guy who can certainly push runners across. Has a man in scoring position. It was a 4-pitch walk to him back in the first. The 3-1 home. Hit hard, hit foul, 3-2.
Yeah, the Majors are lucky that that one did not stay fair. A really tough bouncing ball that almost made it down that third base line and would have been a tricky sequence for Victor Plas to turn over and out. Or make the catch, period.
So full count, one away here. Malik Williams at the plate. Travis Keys out there on the mound. Keys up near 60 pitches through 2 1/3 innings. At 58 right now. Here's the pitch on the ground, right back towards the mound. Keys will look Rio back and throw to first in time. So there's 2 away in the top of the third.
So Keys trading punches now with Williams because he's gotten the better of him the second time out. Dylan, that was a really phenomenal pitch. Wanted him to chase a little bit. I don't think Williams was expecting the breaking ball. Didn't get quite enough of it and bounced it very, very easily and softly back into Keys and got it over to Cardoso. 4 and out. So the smarts there from Travis Keys gets himself across.
Rio remains at second with 2 away as Nolan Macabrota steps into the batter's box. Here's the pitch. Misses for ball 1. Macabrota 1 for 1 on the day. Singled on a line drive to Drew Lawrence and drove home the first Majors run. Baycats run as that one's cut out and missed.
He's another really dangerous bat on this Barrie team. Native of Saskatchewan, Saskatoon, and he's actually signed by the Minnesota Twins organization back in 2022.
Here's the 1-1. That's high. It's going to go to the backstop. Rio will advance 90 feet and get himself up to third.
Took a second. He thought about that one, Rio. He judged it as it happened really, really quickly. Didn't make the split decision right away, but after it was too far gone for Diolio, he trotted his way over, now in scoring position.
So 2-1 count. Rio 90 feet closer to scoring. As Macabrota stands in the batter's box. Line drive, just past the dive of Tommy Reyes Cruz into left field, and that will bring Ryan Rio home. So that wild pitch proves to be a pivotal one because Rio would not have scored on that single otherwise.
A nice hit from Nolan Macabrota. Blasted it straight towards the direction of Tommy Reyes Cruz. Made for a tough play. He had the diving attempt on the ball, but it got too far past him to his right. And Nolan Macabrota moves to 2 for 2 on the day with that RBI single. And Barrie now leads 3-1 and a margin of 2.
Adam on into the batter's box, trying to add on to that lead. 1-0 the count. Lefty Keys trying to get out of this jam. That one misses high, and it's 2-0. Keys up at 65 pitches.
Definitely higher than he would like, Dylan. Way, way higher, especially for Brent Wales and Roop Chanderdat. I wouldn't be surprised in the next inning for Travis Keys if they have a man warming up in the bullpen.
That one misses as well. 3-0 to Adam Odd here. Keys has fallen well behind in the count. Keys through 19 in the first, 17 in the second, 30 so far in the third inning. Has maintained a good strike percentage, though, up at 63% of his pitches in the strike zone. The 3-0 home. Ball 4. So Adam Odd takes a 4-pitch walk, and now there's 2 runners on for Hayden Jaco. That will get Brent Wales up from his position in the dugout to go talk to the Majors lefty on the mound.
Good at bat. A little bit uncharacteristic there of Odd, actually. He has 12 strikeouts against him this year. He's only walked 3 times, so his 4th of the season. And Travis Keys, a bit of a tough time working the plate. It seems as though he's switching back between innings. Really strong, a little weaker, really strong, then now in this one, a little weaker again. Not able to get the balls in the strike zone. although we did have some good pitches, I liked how he's worked the plate a little. Did not receive any chase there whatsoever from Adam On's at bat, and earns him a place at first. Puts the Majors in a bit of a conundrum.
So 2 on, 2 out. Keys trying to find the strike zone, get one more out in this third inning and get the Majors back on the bats. Amidst all the chaos, it's still only a 2-run game. And if Keys can limit the damage here and get out of this inning, it's not a bad spot for the Majors to be with 7 cracks at it left offensively.
Not at all, especially considering you're getting to the heart of their order next up. Tommy Reyes-Cruz, followed by Cardoso and Starling Joseph. Cardoso had an RBI single, Joseph doubled. So the Majors have the bats to respond. There's no doubt about that.
Pitch from Keys, chopped on the ground at third base. Victor Plaz makes the play, and it's one pitch after the mound visit to get out of this top of the third inning for Travis Keys. A solid job by the Majors lefty, all things considered.
Yeah, Travis Keys a little bit tough there. He's going to want one of those pitches back. And ultimately, the scoring play at first to open up scoring in the third inning of play came from the wild pitch in the end. So some defense that was not of any fault of his own. He stayed strong, unfortunately, as you mentioned. We've talked about throughout the broadcast. The pitch count rather high, higher than he would like. So we'll keep an eye on that for you at home. Potentially some players warming up the Majors bullpen will also keep an eye on that. But good job to not let any further damage go against his team. Majors in a very manageable position here for a comeback. Trailing by 2, and as we said, now back to the heart of their order.
We'll see what the Majors can do offensively as we throw things down to Justin Koehler at field level. Justin, what do you got for us?
Gentlemen, along with some of the Canada Day festivities, with everyone in attendance wearing plenty of red, the Majors also celebrated a Hall of Fame induction ceremony prior to the game getting going. They ended up inducting 2 players, and first of which was Alf White. He started playing in the IBL mostly in the 1930s, but actually got his start in baseball back in 1925, so nearly 100 years ago. In his first year in the IBL, he was an offensive powerhouse, to say the least. He ended up batting .325, was a leader in stolen bases, was the home run champion, and selected as an all-star as well during that time. And in his second year, he did more of the same, was another home run champion, and even bumped up his average up to 400 as well. So was knocking it out of the park, left, right, and center. All in all, he was a 6-time All-Star between 1931 and 1936, won multiple batting titles, MVPs, and even acted as a captain for the Majors for a few seasons during that time as well. So an incredible resume, to say the least. Incredible player, incredible career, and incredibly worthy of being inducted into the Hall of Fame. And so let's send it back up to Ty and Dylan in the Game Day London press box. And gentlemen, what a career for Alf White.
Alf White, one of the best Majors of all time, that's for sure. We got to hear a lot of his stats there. Thank you, Justin, and a lot from the Majors Hall of Fame induction ceremony today, Ty.
Yeah, it was a really, we really saw heard a lot of history in the pregame before.
Did, yeah.
A lot about players, both Alf White and Frank Coleman. I'd say I do like Alf White's last name, maybe some relation there down the line. You never know. But for Frank Coleman, I was really, really impressed with him, not knowing too much about him before my time, obviously, with the London Majors. He's a London native who won the 1936 MVP title in the IBL. He's both a hitter and pitcher. Made his way to the Major League, played for Pittsburgh and the Yankees. Appeared in the 1947 World Series as a pinch hitter. Had a couple of hits to his name, and Dylan played alongside some great names, including DiMaggio, as well as Yogi Berra. Roomed with Yogi Berra, how about that? And made his World Series appearance against Jackie Robinson in that 1947 season, alongside some Hall of Famers like Pee Wee Reese, and definitely a fair few others. But really, really cool Major.
Pop up there for Tommy Reyes-Cruz, caught by Nolan Maciabroda over at first base for the first out of the bottom of the third inning, and that'll bring up Caden Cardoso, who's 1 for 1 of the day. Drove home the only Majors run of the ball game back in the first.
Caden Cardoso's really been having a fantastic hot streak. Are you kidding me, Dylan? We'll get to that shortly. As you can see, you got to be kidding me. 19-game hit streak now. Hitting .395, 5 homers, 14 RBIs, and oh my goodness, 1091 OPS. So definitely one of the hottest players in the IBL this year. And Dylan, a fantastic title on your part.
It feels even more ridiculous hearing it read out loud. Because that one misses inside to Cardoso. It's 1-1. Yes, I was proud of that one. Cardoso has had a terrific season for the Majors. Has been really the most consistent and dangerous weapon offensively for London. Sano into the wind-up. Here comes the 1-1 home. Inside again to Cardoso, and it's 2-1.
And Cardoso's an awesome player to watch, Dylan, because he does everything correctly. He has a great eye at the plate, definitely gets walked a lot, can hit the long ball, hits for average, and he is just a five-tool player, really rare to come by. And the Majors make a deep run this year in the playoffs. Cardoso, I'm sure, will be one of the reasons why.
He's faced with a 2-2 count here against Carlos Sano. Sano only at 37 pitches through 2 1/3. He's been cruising along aside from that first inning where he allowed the one run and a couple of extra base runners to go along with it. Here's the 2-2 home. Cardoso in the air, foul territory. That one's going to get out of play for a foul ball towards the Roy McKay clubhouse.
Just a beautiful fastball there. Hard and inside from Sano. He's really calmed down and able to work more of the precision and the placement of his pitches as the game has progressed. A bit wonky at first, but he's gotten a grip on things since then.
2-2, called strike 3 to Cardoso. He goes down looking, and there's 2 gone now in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
Just as I'm talking about his placement, he really delivers a gorgeous fastball, high and outside. Painted the corner on that one. It's rare to get Cardoso looking the whole way through, and definitely a tough at bat, but he made good work of it there, Carlos Sano, and I believe that's his first strikeout of the game.
So 2 gone now in the bottom of the 3rd inning after that strikeout. You mentioned it, Ty, that is his first K of the ball game as Starling Joseph saunters into the batter's box. Joseph hit a big late home run on Canada Day last year to help propel the Majors over the Hamilton Cardinals. He skies this one into foul territory. Jaco gives it a look, but it's off the screen, a foul ball. Majors and Baycats have matched up in 4 of the last 5 Canada Day games now. The Baycats won back in 2018 by a score of 14-2. The Majors won in 2019 15-3. Then there was no Canada Day game in 2020 or 2021, as that one's there for a strike. It's 0-2. In 2022, the Majors won 7-0 over Barrie. And then last year, the Majors beat the Hamilton Cardinals 5-4. So 4 of the last 5 Canada Day games, it's been London against Barrie at Labatt Memorial Park. Here's the 0-2 home. Joseph off the end of the bat, cued into shallow right field. Now drifting into foul territory. Macubroda chasing after it. Long run, and he tracks it down. What a play by Nolan Macubroda to end the 3rd inning. We're through 3 complete here at Labatt Park. Baycats lead 3-1. Ty White on the call when we come back.
Beyond the scores and get to know the athletes who call the Forest City home.
Joseph crushes one.
Game Day London brings you in-depth stories and conversations about London's major teams and the athletes. Whether it's in the rink with the Knights or on the field with the Majors, Game Day London has you covered from the start. For fresh and engaging sports coverage, visit Game Day London, a proud sponsor of Majors.
Hello, my name is Jim Nutter with Nuther's Award Store. Come along with me on a virtual tour to take a look at our amazing products and services that we're able to provide to you to help you with your recreation needs.
Welcome back, folks, inside Labatt Memorial Park, and a very happy Canada Day from wherever you may be. It's a pleasure to have you with us on this gorgeous day at the Forks of the Thames in downtown London. The Barrie Baycats are in town taking on the London Majors, and it's been a good one so far, a close contest. Barrie leading 3-1, trying to add on to more of their tally. Right now, Ty White alongside Dylan Baker on the action for you, and you're watching MajorsTV. It's been a beautiful day at the ballpark, as you can see. Majors in their beautiful red and white jerseys. I'd like to say reminiscent of the 72 Summit Series jerseys that Team Canada wore against the Soviet Union, one of our nation's most famous sports jerseys over the years, and it looks fantastic on the Majors tonight. Travis Keys on the mound for the Majors thus far. 3 strikeouts to his name. But through his outing now in his 4th inning, has the pitch count running a little bit high, so we'll keep an eye on that. And as well on the Majors bullpen to see and look out for any changes. Meanwhile, Noah Hall checks back into the game. 1 for 1 on the day with a single in his first outing. Hall hitting .310 on the year with 13 hits to his name. Struck out 10 times and walked 5. The first pitch from Travis Keys swung on and fouled behind. It's 0-1. Travis Keys had a little bit of a tough time in the 3rd inning of play. Working the plate completely, he walked 1, and 2 runs came on as this one is smacked into center field. Going to be made. A nice play by Tommy Reyes-Cruz, the shortstop, trotting backwards to get into the territory of Drew Lawrence. Makes the catch himself, and just like that, Majors have 1 down in the top of the 4th. So Noah Hall moves to 1-2 on the day. Brad McQuinn, the bottom of the order, checks back in now for the Barrie Baycats. Now the first run in the 3rd inning for the Barrie Baycats came off a wild throw, as this one is a bunt attempt from McQuinn. Wild throw way over the head of Caden Cardoso. It got a man around to score. McGarry Doyle having 2 runs on the day. And he came in to score. So a tough sequence. Not all the onus goes to Travis Keys as he forces a hard swing there from McQuinn. Count moves to 0-2. The 0-2 from Travis Keys. Fastball upstairs and is watched the whole way through. McQuinn's just going to leave it. Trying to fight himself back. 1-2. Definitely needs more quick outs if he wants to extend his time on the mound throughout the next several innings for the Majors. Breaking ball. Down and away. Gets the swing from Brad McQuinn. That had nice spin on it. Broke perfectly, and he sits down another one. His 4th strikeout of the day.
Beautiful breaking ball there from Travis Keys against McQuinn, getting yet another strikeout to his line this afternoon, or this evening, I should say. As you mentioned, Ty, really good sequencing. Starts him off with a foul ball, gets a called strike, misses a little bit, and then that beautiful breaking ball just waved at it and came up empty.
So back to the top of the Baycats order. Ken Azijo, uncharacteristically 0 for 2 on the day. He struck out and flew out in his first 2 at-bats. Travis Keys fastball down the middle, swung on, and shot behind for strike 1.
Yeah, not used to seeing Ejo hitless, especially with the start to the season he's been having. He's been such a great contributor in the Intercounty Baseball League for a number of years. Trying to break into the hit column, but whatever Keys and DeOlio are doing, the game plan seems to be working against him.
Keys, bit of movement on that pitch. Might have been a slider in the end or potentially a tiny breaking ball, but it was high and inside. Ejo's going to let that fly by him. Count even at 1-1. Majors already have 2 outs. Fastball well outside. 2-1.
Keys would love to get an out here and not have to face another batter in this inning just to make quick work of the Barrie Baycats and keep that pitch count where it's at. He's past the point of no return where it's already very elevated, but trying to limit what he throws per inning right now.
Fastball smacked right back towards him by the legs of Travis Keys. It'll make it up in second base between Kresminski and Reyes Cruz. So safely on base now for the first time of the day, Canis Ijo.
Ijo scorched that baseball right back up the middle. Took an aggressive turn around the first base bag. Wondered momentarily if he was going to try to test it and get out to second on that same swing. Really good piece of hitting. He hit it very hard. Nearly clipped Travis Keys on the mound right back up the chute, and he's aboard with two away.
So arguably the player of the game so far checks back in for the Barrie Baycats. Noel McGarry Doyle, double and a single with 2 runs to his name, Dylan. And the cycle is on. Travis Keys has a good look. Will make the throw back to Caden Cardoso, trying to tag out Ijo, but he got back in time. Didn't have too big a lead at first.
He definitely fooled Ijo, though. He was on his way towards second base, maybe just for his secondary lead. Wasn't running, but Keys has a really, really good move, and he's been able to use it a fair amount this year.
Keys staring right back at Ijo now, playing mind games. Fastball is downstairs, but too low, and called for ball 2. Majors still have 2 outs. A lot of scenarios where they get that third. Big swing on a fastball inside from McGarry Doyle. They count at 1-1. Ijo still at first on the 1-1 to McGarry Doyle. Low and outside once again. Travis Keys having a tough time painting that low outside corner, Dylan.
I don't mind that pitch, though, from Travis Keys, Ty. He just came with the fastball, then drops a breaking ball in there low and away, trying to get the chase. Similar action on those 2 pitches in the way they cut across from McGarry Doyle. Just didn't get the swing.
McGarry Doyle takes a chop at this one. Will foul it off back to the netting. Count all square at 2-2. Fairly young player on this Barrie lineup. Born in February of 2001, and a native of Thornhill, Ontario. Keys on the 2-2. Got the swing in the end. The bag attempting to be stolen. That's 3 outs, and it's all good from Travis Keys, adding another strikeout to his tally. 5 on the day, and he sits down Noel McGarry Doyle for the first time of the game.
Good job there by Travis Keys getting the swing and a miss there from McGarry Doyle. Definitely has been a tough out throughout the ball game today, and he sits him down with a very good fastball to retire the side. Overall, not a bad inning in terms of pitch count for Travis Keys. Obviously, he's still very elevated at 83 pitches, but 15 in that inning.
So 15, a respectable inning in the end, and that ending play there, a bit of a weird sequence. Deolio was more than ready to make the throw for Ijo attempting to steal second. It's just second nature to Eduardo Deolio, but didn't need to in the end as they got the swing from McGarry Doyle. So we flip things over, and we're checking back in on the Majors offense. Eduardo Deolio right back up, followed by Byron Reichstein and Victor Plaz.
Yeah, Major's going to try to do something here offensively. The only time they really had was when the top of the order was due up, and that was back in the first inning when Lawrence led off with a walk. Majors just need base runners any way they can get them right now against Carlos Sano. When they're able to pressure him and get guys on base, it becomes quite the challenge for the Baycats right-hander. As we saw in the first, he was just able to squeak out of it. But London's really got nothing going offensively since then. Victor Plaz worked a walk in the second inning and was thrown out on that controversial play at the plate. Back in that frame, but in the third, nothing really at all offensively for London. Trying to get back on the bats here against an Armin Sano who's had their number up to this point.
Sano has very much cleaned things up as the game has moved forward. Barrie still leading by 2, score of 3-1. The Majors definitely not out of this one. Things could change very quickly with a good offensive showing in the bottom of the 4th. Eduardo Deolio, as you mentioned previously, Dylan, had a home run last night's game versus Toronto and went 2 for 4 with a walk.
Had a chance to do some more damage in today's ball game. Came up with runners on base back in the first inning, but popped out.
So another case this game, Dominican on Dominican in Sano versus Deolio. As you can hear the Eddie chants echoing out throughout a full Labatt Memorial Park on this gorgeous Canada Day. The first offering from Sano to DeOlio. Fastball upstairs, swung on. It's going to be belted back towards foul territory. Enough for Macabroda to make the run. That actually stayed in foul. Didn't get outside into the bleachers. Play could have been made, but it was a tough angle.
Dangerous play there for our photographer here with the Majors, Morgan Robrick over there. She had to run away from Macabroda, who gave chase. Nearly caught it in the crowd. He reached over the fence but couldn't come up with the grab.
But what a picture she must have gotten there, Dylan.
I think she was more worried about running away from that baseball than taking a picture of it.
Second pitch, fastball down the middle. And it's not even going to attempt a swing there, DeOlio. Count at 0-2. DeOlio will take a pop at this one. It's going to dribble its way out all the way over to Malik Williams. Going to try to see if it's going to go foul. It will stay fair. And Eduardo DeOlio off a dribbler. Fortunately for him, does not go foul, and he reaches first base.
A slow roller. It just kept rolling. Malik Williams let it roll, and it hits the third base bag. I think it would have been a tough play for Malik Williams to make. DeOlio got a pretty good run out of the box there. But then again, not a guy who's got a lot of speed, so Williams may have been able to execute a throw if he got there quickly enough. I don't hate the decision-making for Barrie on that last play. Just didn't quite work out.
Byron Reichstein coming off a tough outing last night. Is 0 for 1 today. Flew out in his first at bat. Trying to advance. DeOlio fastball inside. Did not paint that corner. So it's 1-0. Now we have seen a lot already through this game. The pickoff attempts from Sano, that's kept the Majors honest at first base. A really good approach for a team that likes playing small ball, and Roop Chandler that side. Fastball looming outside of Reichstein. Takes a swing and fouls it off. But it will make its way over the fence. DeOlio not the fastest player over at first, so will not take any chances and has a fairly short leadoff. The 1-1 upstairs fastball, 2-1.
Majors have not made very solid contact with Carlos Sano all game long, really. The only hard hit ball was off the bat of Starling Joseph earlier in the ball game. It's been a lot of pop-ups, a lot of weak ground balls, and so Byron Reichstein trying to do some damage to a baseball here.
We mentioned previously a really good opportunity to Sano to show his stuff as this one is slapped back in deep right field over towards center. DeOlio is going to be able to round third. He's going to try to make it in there. The throw is not in time, and the Majors crawl back within one. And an RBI double for Byron Reichstein.
Mentioned Byron Reichstein was looking to do damage to a baseball. He did just that. Reinvigorates the crowd with a long double to the right center field gap as Victor Payano brings Eduardo DeOlio a little bit of water. A long run for the Majors catcher, and they may have had a play on him at the plate, but Brad McQuinn on that relay throw from Canisijo initially hesitated because Adam Odd, the shortstop, was a little bit too close. He was worried about hitting him perhaps on the relay to the plate. The throw was not in time. DeOlio scores all the way from first, and the Majors are back in it. So too is the crowd.
You mentioned the crowd definitely back into this one. A jolt of electricity through the packed Labatt Memorial Park. Majors within striking distance. Pitch swung on from Victor Plaz. It's going to bounce right up. A tough play. Not in time to throw from Adam Odd. And Victor Plaz gets a single to his name, advances the runner. and a good position to score another one for the Majors.
What a strange play there for the Majors. Victor Plaz spiked that one potentially off the plate. It went so high into the air. Adam Ott had to wait back and tried to hurry a throw. It was in the dirt. A good play by Macabrota over at first base, just keeping it in front of him, making the grab so that Reichstein couldn't score from third. And heads-up play by Byron Reichstein, the base runner. Oftentimes, when a ball is hit on that side of the infield and you're at second base, you'll hold off. Reichstein did a good job of recognizing just how high that ball was chopped off the bat of Plaz and moved up the 90 feet to put himself at third base. Huge spot here for the Majors.
So Reichstein living a bit on the dangerous side here, does not take things cautiously and helps to paint the corners for the Majors. Plaz on first, Reichstein on third, and in steps Gibson Kresminski. Flew out in his last at bat, but what an opportunity here with no outs for the Majors. Already scored one in this inning and more in scoring position. A high fastball nearly got over the hands of Hayden Janko, but steady hands, as we very well know, Dylan. Makes a calm catch in the end, potentially avoiding disaster there. And a high ball.
Sano a little too antsy here with the runner on the corner. Try to do too much with that fastball and nearly airmailed it.
The 1-0 is cracked. A long run for both fielders. It will get down. A booming hit from Gibson Kresminski. Scores Byron Reichstein. Victor Plaz making the run. The throw is not there. Behind the plate, another Major will advance. And what a sequence that was. Kresminski gets himself all the way over to third while scoring two in the process. And just like that, the London Majors have the lead 4-3.
Living dangerously there were the Majors. Victor Plaz ran through the stop sign. Thrown up by third base coach Brent Wales. He comes in to score as the relay was airmailed to the plate. Perhaps a little bit of surprise on the part of the Baycats that Plaz was running home. There was a stop sign thrown up. He never saw it, and he'll come around to score for the London Majors to give them the lead. A huge hit by Gibson Kresminski, a guy who's got 15 hits on the season, only 2 of them extra base hits coming into today's ball game. This one a huge double. He's fired up about it, celebrating with Skylar Janice in the dugout as we get a mound visit here for the Barrie Baycats and some action in their bullpen. You see it on your screen there. Trying to get you who that is here momentarily.
What a play in the end, though, from Gibson Kresminski. Last night only went 1 for 4 with a strikeout and just added 2 RBIs to his name. Majors snatch the lead right back and also have no outs, Dylan.
Nobody out. Huge opportunity here for the Majors. Kresminski still at third. That is Braden Pakala loosening up in the Barrie Baycats bullpen. The 6'2" left-hander is getting ready in a hurry in case he's needed now that the Baycats are down in this game.
So the sticky situation continues for Carlos Sano, as Kresminski now sitting on third himself in scoring position. This ball fouled. A long run made in the end by Adam Odd, as well as Noah Hall dropped down for it. Too far for the pair of them.
A little surprised that Malik Williams didn't go out with them, but perhaps he got a read on it right away that it was out of his range to make the catch. So, huge spot here for Sano. His pitch count's still actually very good at 53 pitches through 3 innings, but Kresminski standing over at third. He's got Brad Verhoeven. This is a big batter for Sano. He's got to get this out. The Baycats have the infield in, trying to cut down Kresminski at the plate or at least hold him at third.
Another fastball looming outside, high and outside. Another jumping attempt for a catch that Hayden Janko has to make. Brad Verhoeven flew out in his last at bat. 0 for 1 on the day. The 1-1 to Verhoeven. Swung on. It's going to be a nice play by Nolan Macabrota, sliding down on one knee, makes the tag himself, and keeps Gibson Kresminski at third base. What a defensive fielding effort that was from Nolan Macabrota.
Good play there by Macabrota, watching Kresminski back to the bag and applying the tag there on Brad Verhoeven for the first out of the bottom of the 4th inning. And A huge job by Sano. You cannot afford to lose the number 9 hitter with the top of the order coming up on deck, and a smart play by the Baycats first baseman.
So Drew Lawrence having himself quite the day, and the opportunity to add an RBI to his name. Really looking for anything past the infield here to score Gibson Krasminski. Fastball well low and outside. Sano having a tough time of getting his pitches under control now. Lawrence walked in his first at-bat, also scored a run. And he had a bloop single in his last outing. That made its way over past the first baseman, Macabroda, in what was an extremely oddly hit ball. This one fired off. You have to be careful if you're a Majors fan. That made its way past the netting. A fair few of oohs and ahs here around Labatt Memorial Park.
Hit hard off the bat of Lawrence there. He was way late on that fastball from Sano.
Sano trying to get things under control here. The 1-1 to Drew Lawrence. Another hard hit ball, similar area this time. Closer to being fair. It's going to be foul in deep right field.
Another fastball from Sano that Lawrence was just late on. Slaps it the opposite way. This one didn't make it into the crowd, as you mentioned, Ty, but a similar spot down the right field line.
Well, Sano, despite him having himself a quite good day before this fourth inning of play, only one strikeout. Looking for another one here. 1 and 2 to Drew Lawrence. Krasminski patiently at third. Fastball high and inside. Count it 2 apiece.
That one way up and in there on Drew Lawrence. Good take, was not tempted by the high fastball, and the count moves to 2-2.
Krasminski patient but eager over on third. As Lawrence looks to get another one in there. This hit will make it out past the infield. And in swans Gibson Krasminski. After his fantastic hitting performance at the plate, gets to run in himself, and it's going to be an RBI single for Drew Lawrence.
Really great job by Drew Lawrence on that last swing. Goes with that pitch on the outside part of the plate, hits it hard, and hits it over the head of the second baseman, Brad McQuinn, into right field. Phenomenal piece of hitting for a guy who's been red hot as of late and has been fantastic in the leadoff spot for the Majors this season.
Majors entered the fourth inning down by 2. They're now up by 2 with only 1 out. Tommy Reyes-Cruz 0 for 2 on the day, checks back in. That ball well inside, a pick attempt. That was a tough play, rather, on a pick from Hayden Jaco. Ball was in the dirt, and it'll be ball 1.
They checked to see if Reyes-Cruz went around on that pitch. He did not. He just barely held up. It's also tough to see for the third base umpire, who has to stand out around second base with the runner over at first and James Deacon. Not an easy call for him, and on a close one like that, you kind of just err on the side of the home plate umpire.
Fastball is swung on. That one high and outside. Count at 1 apiece. And also, Dylan, I'm noticing over at first base now. Obviously, we've seen a ton of throws from Sano trying to pick off over at first base to his teammate Macabroda. A little bit more conservative approach in base running. The Majors just trying to play small ball correctly. They're in no rush, especially having a terrific fourth inning offensively.
Yeah, the Majors are on fire offensively here in this fourth inning. Trying to keep it up. There's no reason to try to force things with the way the team is hitting in this frame. We'll see, though. Now we're back at the top of the order. You got the speed of Lawrence over at first if the Majors do try to steal some bags and put some small ball in play.
The 2-1 to Tommy Reyes-Cruz. Fastball again inside. This one dropped. The run will be made by Drew Lawrence. The throw by Jaco not in time. Too far and outside. And safely in there at second base, Drew Lawrence.
Bit of a risky play there from Drew Lawrence. He kind of hesitated initially on that pitch in the dirt, but then read it well enough to move up to second base, as he'll be credited with moving up on the wild pitch. The throw from Jaco was a pretty good one, but Odd couldn't come up with it cleanly. It bounced away from him, and the result is Lawrence standing in scoring position.
Still only 1 out. The ball for chance have officially arrived, Dylan. Loud and proud from the Majors faithful. 3-1 is swung on. It's going to make its way into left field, an ambiguous area. A long run in the end, and what a catch that was from Noah Hall. The diving attempt made just in time as his teammates are clapping him on. Wow, that was a fantastic play in a tough area.
Ty, I thought Noah Hall had no shot at that baseball. I saw him running in. I thought Odd may have had the best bet at trying to make the catch on that one. A tremendously long run for the Baycats left fielder. Lays out and makes a fantastic catch. If that ball drops in and gets by him, it's possible Lawrence scores, though he did have to hold up at second base. He thought it fell in as well, was wanting to move up. Really, really great play by Hall.
So a tedious effort and run in left field pays off in the end for Noah Hall. Records the second out for the Baycats. And Caden Cardoso back in now. On the 19-game hit streak. Had an RBI single in his first outing. And struck out in his last. Drew Lawrence remains on second. Taking a good look there, back over Adam Odd's direction, potentially for a pickoff attempt, but there was no bite whatsoever. Drew Lawrence standing his ground. The pitch was way outside for ball one. Cardoso's swinging his bat all the way around calmly at the plate like he normally does. Such a dangerous approach. A dangerous player. This one fouled off into the netting. Count at 1-1.
Cardoso having another good day, 1 for 2 so far. Doing a good job fighting off some tough pitches there from Carlos Sano. Good fastball that he was able to get a piece of. Was frozen in his last trip, got caught looking.
Getting caught looking, a rarity to say the least for Caden Cardoso. Sano had that fastball working for him. It's cooled down a little bit now. Fastball inside, swung on by Cardoso. A bouncing ball directly to Nolan Macabroda. And finally, the Baycats are able to retire the side, but not before the Majors add 4 onto their tally and snatch the lead from the Baycats. They're up 5-3 in this beautiful Canada Day. From downtown London, you're watching Majors TV.
Hello, my name is Jim Nuther with Nuther's Award Store. Come along with me on a virtual tour to take a look at our amazing products and services that we're able to provide to you to help you with your recreation needs.
On the scores and get to know the athletes who call the Forest City home.
Joseph crushes one.
Game Day London brings you in-depth stories and conversations about London's major teams and the athletes. Whether it's in the rink with the Knights or on the field with the Majors, Game Day London has you covered from the start. For fresh and engaging sports coverage, visit GameDayLondon.com, a proud sponsor of TV.
Happy Canada Day. Welcome back inside Labatt Memorial Park. If you're just joining us, the London Majors with an incredible 4th inning of offensive taking a lead right back from the Barrie Baycats. They now lead 5-3, leading by 2 after trailing by 2 before entering the 4th. Dylan's been a tough outing so far for Travis Keys, although he's done his fair share on the mound. The pitch count running a little high.
The pitch count is very high, Ty, right now at 83 pitches through 4 innings of work for Travis Keys. An uncharacteristically difficult and strenuous outing for him. He's allowed 3 runs. Only one of them has been earned, and he's given up 6 hits. So a performance that Keys would like to try to better as he finishes things up. He's not going to have much time left in this ball game with the way he's gone right now, just with the pitch count where it's at, but trying to sort things out and keep the Majors ahead as he finishes off his day.
So Ryan Riho DHing today for the Baycats. He checks back in after a bit of an error single, made his way all the way over to third, not able to get in there for a run though. So the Majors took care of business. Swing from there on the first pitch towards Riho, and strike one for Travis Keys. The 0-1 from Keys. That toss, another swing is drawn from Riho. Perhaps not the best hack at that one, but that ball had quite a bit of movement on it. He's down quickly, 0-2.
Really good pitch sequencing there from Keys and DeOlio. Took something off of that one after Riho came up empty on the first offering.
0-2, looking for a 3-pitch strikeout, and that's exactly what we will get. The 6th of the day for Travis Keys, and makes quick work of Ryan Riho.
Good execution there by Keys. Freezes Riho on the outside part of the plate. You know, a big batter, Ryan Riho, is looking for something in his wheelhouse that he can get a handle of. And that one right there, just on the outside corner, didn't want anything to do with it, and got the call from the home plate umpire for the first out.
So for the third time today, we get the terrific matchup of Malik Williams against Travis Keys. Round one went to Malik Williams, who walked. Round two to Travis Keys after was a ground out from Williams. Williams having a prolific year at the plate. Barely striking out, walking a lot, and hitting well over 300. Going to check with the first base umpire if anything happened, but in the end it's 1-1, says the umpire. The toss from Keys. Fastball. Had Williams swinging as the LEDs shoot their way on, Dylan.
We can always notice it out here, but I don't think the crowd really does. This is about the time that they normally turn them on a Friday night, I would think as well, especially this time in the summer.
Don't need them just yet. Sun still shining bright down on all of us as that ball low and outside from Travis Keys paints the corner and had Williams looking the whole way through. Count it 2-2. Due-2 from Keys. Fastball swung on and belted well all the way. Probably made its way nearing a street there, Dylan. I mean, that one really shot back, fouled. Keeps himself alive, though. Count remains at 2 apiece.
Good job by Williams fighting off the good fastball there from Travis Keys. Just got enough of it to get a piece and sent that a long ways foul.
It's been a real treat to watch these two go at it. This ball inside hits a little bit awkwardly off the arm or chest, potentially, of DeOlio. Count moves itself to full, and we'll see who can win this exchange. Any prediction here, Dylan, on a pitch?
I got nothing. I think anything you come with is dangerous to Malik Williams here. My guess would be a fastball from Keys, but wouldn't be surprised if it's something different.
Full count with 1 out. This one is swung on, traveling towards Starling Joseph, and easily parachutes his way into his glove and sits down Malik Williams for the 2nd out at the top of the 5th.
That pitch was a pretty good one from Travis Keys, but as mentioned, it was hit very, very hard off the bat of Malik Williams again. Scorched to left field, and Joseph just played it perfectly, or was positioned perfectly, I should say, to make a routine grab.
So in steps the Saskatoon native, Nolan McBroda, playing right today, especially defensively. He's had a couple great plays and fielding efforts. He is 2 for 2 with an RBI single in his last outing. First pitch is fouled off behind him for 0-1. Fairly respectable job here from Keys, trying to keep the pitch count down in this 5th inning. And looking to retire the side in order. That slider outside did not quite get the corner. It's a ball for 1-1.
Not sure what the pitch limit will be for Travis Keys today, but he's at 95 pitches through 4 2/3 innings. So you'd expect this, if this is not the last inning, he's maybe got one more.
Important to note, no action so far in the Majors bullpen. This ball perfectly inside and draws a swing from McBroda. Ahead in the count now, Keys 1-2.
Really good changeup there from Travis Keys. Started him off with a couple of fastballs, then comes back with something a heck of a lot slower, and Macabrota comes up empty on the swing.
Fooled him inside. We mentioned Macabrota has gotten on base every at-bat, as this one is low. Count it 2 apiece. Keys offering a variety of tosses towards Macabrota. We've seen fastballs, sliders, and changeups. This one looming outside. It will get the corner, says the umpire. And the 7th strikeout of the day for Travis Keys. Fantastic defensive effort from him, tiring the Barrie side in order.
Frustration for Macabrota there. He thought that ball was off the plate outside and does not get the call he was looking for from the home plate umpire, Justin Snively topping. A great job from Travis Keys. I don't know if you saw it, Ty, but I didn't see a handshake from Major skipper Ruth Chatterdad. So I would assume the Keys will continue on in this ball game. If he does, he will start the 6th inning at 98 pitches. So you'd think there might be some action coming in the Majors bullpen.
We'll keep an eye on it for you, but it's time, as always, for our bit of global sports update and recap from around all the sports world. Not going to spoil any scores, at least for baseball, because I know there are quite a few fans who pre-record the games, including my mother, so that's for you, Mom. Astros were at the Blue Jays today for Canada Day. The Mets were in Washington to take on the Nationals, and the Brewers were in Colorado taking on the Rockies. For Euro soccer, it was the round of 16. Switzerland advanced, Germany advanced, Spain advanced, and England in I believe it was a 90-plus 5-minute bicycle kick from Jude Bellingham. Advanced them over Slovakia 2-1 in the end in extra time. France beat Belgium today. Portugal advanced on penalties against Slovenia. Romania play the Netherlands tomorrow. Austria face Turkey. In the Copa America, Canada are playing Venezuela. How about that for a Canada Day celebration? Who are 3-0, I might add, Venezuela, on Friday, July 5th in Arlington, Texas at AT&T Stadium. And finally, round 1 of Wimbledon is underway in London, England for some tennis. Both the men's and women's playing preliminary rounds today.
No update on the local London Pickleball League, Ty? Couldn't get that one to
Didn't have it, and I don't think ESPN carried that one. So,
thank you as always for the rundown through all the stats, or probably scores for today and all the action.
Always love hearing what's happening from around the ground. As Starling Joseph, another star player, making a huge impact for the Majors recently, Dylan.
Yeah, Starling Joseph will lead off this bottom of the 5th inning, and over his last 4 games, he's been stellar. 6 for 17, a .353 average, has hit 2 home runs, has a double as well, 9 runs batted in, 2 runs scored, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts over that span. He's really been phenomenal, and his power bat seems to have found its way back into the repertoire for Joseph. He struggled at the beginning of the year, didn't hit a home run for a while, but seems to be back.
2 home runs recently for him, and looks to add on to his tally. First pitch swung on. It's going to be well foul. Count at 1-0. Joseph had a double in his first at bat. Flew out in his second, so he is 1 for 2 on the day. Bit of a holdup in the outfield here, Dylan. Bit of confusion and a long run being made by Canisijo, I believe.
I think a ball fell onto the field there, Tom.
I think it did, as we have a fair few of kids playing some baseball behind the outfield here at Labatt Memorial Park. Great day for sport for all ages. Things back underway. 0-1. Slider outside in the dirt. Count at 1-1.
Now a little bit too much to handle on the movement, even for Hayden Jaco, the Barrie Baycats catcher.
My goodness, a long run for the ball boy there. Another one. Fastball gets by the hands of Jaco in the dirt from a Sano fastball. 2-1 to Starling Joseph. The toss, fastball, again outside to the right. 3-1 now.
The game plan is clearly keep the ball away from Starling Joseph. A couple of breaking balls he didn't bite on, and then a fastball that misses.
The ball for a chance, more on cue now as Starling Joseph, a long ball carrying. The play is not going to be made by Canisijo. Hits off the top of his glove. Then Starling Joseph, star power and a booming hit. Too hot to handle for Canisijo.
That one was scorched off the bat of Starling Joseph to dead center field. And the problem there for Canisijo was the fact that he broke in initially for the Barrie Baycats. He ran in a couple of steps and then had to charge all the way back. With the speed at which that ball was hit, it just kept carrying and carrying and carrying. Eventually it goes off the glove of Ijo, and the result is a double for Starling Joseph.
So back in now is Eduardo De Olio, the former all-star catcher in the IBL. Favorable position, no outs. Starling Joseph on second, but a pickoff attempt will work in the end. Carlos Sano throwing it backwards to Brad McQuinn, who made the tag. And Starling Joseph has that play immediately canceled out for a smart defensive effort and heads up from Barrie.
Quick erasure there of the Starling Joseph double. Was dancing a little too far off of the second base bag, and McQuinn was right there.
De Olio, a long ball, deep center field, near the warning track, and just like that, in a sequence back-to-back, the Majors, 2 outs and 2 good plays from Barrie. It was almost inevitable all game long. We were looking for that pick attempt from Carlos Sano. This time it was Starling Joseph, a bit too far off second base. Made him pay over to Brad McQuinn. The Majors did not learn from the early warnings and cannot add any more onto their tally from De Olio and Joseph. Let's see if Reichstein can change that. RBI double in his last outing. Fastball, hard and inside for ball 1.
That last fly ball hit to Canisijo out in center field was a long hit fly ball for Eduardo De Olio, but not enough power behind it. It carried nearly to the warning track, but Ijo able to make the grab.
Fastball, similar position inside for another ball. Trying to jam Reichstein, but to no end at the moment. Call, or I should say the crowd has not dwindled down whatsoever, rather increased since the game has begun.
Everybody's waiting for the fireworks, Ty. You can't leave the ballpark.
Definitely. Coming after the game towards 10 p.m., if memory serves me correctly. Beautiful view over right field, past the buildings and the trees. Should be a treat here for everyone in downtown London. Make sure to get outside from wherever you're watching the game, hopefully in Canada, for some fireworks, I'm sure, in your area. That pitch gets by Reichstein for 2-2.
Good job by Sano fighting back in this plate appearance. Fell behind Reichstein pretty quickly and then found the strike zone, then gets the chase.
Looking for his second strikeout of the day and trying to retire the Majors side in the 5th. A ball that had a ton of movement on that, Dylan. Quite a nasty pitch inside. Did not require a chase, though, from Reichstein. A ball in the end, but a gorgeous slider. Count moves to full with 2 outs. The toss from Sano. This one. Slider more inside. Reichstein takes a hack at it. Jaco will attempt a small run, but in the end, Reichstein just keeps himself alive. Count remains at full.
Interesting to see what Sano comes with here on the full count offering, whether he goes to the fastball or the breaking ball. The 2-2 breaking ball was a bit of a waste pitch to see if Reichstein would chase. He did not. Then gets the foul off there. If I'm him, I come with a high fastball here. A challenge pitch against Byron.
Nobody warming up in the bullpen for Barrie. Ball is inside. Tough play there for Sano in the end. Worked the plate really well. But Reichstein saw it even better. Gets to base for the second time today, 2 times in a row. He's on first, still 2 outs.
Good take there from Byron Reichstein on that pitch from Carlos Sano. Looked to be an off-speed pitch, perhaps a changeup, as it didn't break anywhere, just kind of fell off the face of the earth there and into the dirt. No chase from Byron, and the result is him getting aboard with 2 away.
So Reichstein at first, and Victor Plaz comes back in. 1 for 1 on the day with a walk and a single. Slider in there for strike 1. Keep an eye on first base to see if Reichstein takes too big of a lead for the liking of Carlos Sano. Slider again swung on and fouled backwards. Plaz quickly down 0-2. We're seeing a bit of a change from the fastballs to a lot more sliders now from Sano.
Yeah, perhaps an indicator of his pitch count. Not as confident in that fastball as he gets later on into his outing. But you're right, Ty. There have been quite a few off-speed pitches, particularly as of late.
Perhaps an opportune time for a fastball to fool with speed. And there comes the fastball. Hit off a bad area of the bat. Bit of a awkward right above the hands for Victor Plaz. Will be fouled off, but keeps himself alive.
Yeah, high fastball up and in. Plaz hardly had the opportunity to swing, just kind of moved the bat, and it got a piece and went into foul territory.
0-2 with 2 outs. And Reichstein on first. Fastball gets by Victor Plaz and will retire the London Majors in the 5th inning. Second strikeout for Carlos Sano, and nothing has changed from the 5th inning now. Score remains at 5-3 in favor of London. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll see more between these two titans in the Inter-County Baseball League. You're watching Majors TV.
In London, Ontario, the world's oldest baseball grounds. Now through Labor Day, book your guided tour and walk the same field as Ty Cobb, Fergie Jenkins, Honus Wagner, and some of baseball's most legendary players. View artifacts from over the years inside the original 1940 clubhouse. Experience baseball history in London, Ontario. Book your guided tour at Labatt Park Tour.
The best of the Inter-County Baseball League descend on the Rose City on July 20th as the 2023 Dominico Cup champion Welland Jackfish and Welland Stadium host the 2024 Inter-County Baseball League All-Star Showdown and Home Run Derby. For ticket information, visit wellandjackfish.com/all-star or call 905-735-9834. Welland Jackfish Baseball. Fans first, fun always. Get hooked.
Welcome back, folks, inside Labatt Memorial Park, where things are cooling down a little bit as we settle in for the back half of this one. London leading the Barrie Baycats score of 5-3 after a fantastic 4th inning of play with 4 runs to their name. Nothing happened in the 5th. And we're back now in the 6th. Adam Odd at the plate facing Travis Keys, who remains on the mound for London.
That pitch from Keys there missed the strike zone, was in the dirt. Odd was trying to lay down a bunt and pulled back.
Adam Odd has 7 RBIs so far in the 2024 season. Career .315 average, 22 homers, 91 RBIs, and 105 runs. So a very respectable player and a former varsity Blue attending the University of Toronto. Two 2-0 from Travis Keys to Adam Odd. That slider way outside for 3-0.
We do have action here in the Majors bullpen, as I believe that is Christian Coombs getting loose for London. Keys now up over 100 pitches, 101 right now in the 5th inning.
That one in there for a strike on the outside corner. Count it 3-1 now. To mention Christian Coombs warming up. He saw some time in the 14-9 game when these two teams last played. So familiar with the Barrie side. That ball again well outside, and another walk for Barrie. Adam Odd gets on for the second time.
I think Majors manager Rup Chanada was looking to see if Keys could get through this bottom part of the order without allowing any base runners. Now that there's a runner on, we'll see what his move is. He's staying in the dugout for now, but he did take a long look to see whether Coombs was close to being ready.
So in steps Hayden Jaco. A fantastic hitter on his day, but it's 0 for 2. Like his teammate, also in the top 5 for ERA, Canis Ijo. But if you recall, he singled in his last outing, changing that. Jaco trying to do more of the same.
Jaco squared around a bunt there. I don't think it was a sacrifice bunt. I think he squared late, trying to surprise the Majors infield and bunt for a base hit. In his time in London, he was no stranger to doing that, looking to spark something for the Baycats and put 2 men on with nobody out.
Keys taking a good look over at first, and he will make the throw back, but well in time for Adam Ott to see it the whole way.
He's fooled every Barrie Baycat so far with that pickoff move. They just haven't been off far enough for him to get them out. Every single guy has stepped towards second base and then bounced back. It's just that they've been so close it doesn't matter.
Keys. That one over towards the middle. Cardoso will make the run to the foul territory, but approximately 2 rows back, it'll stay foul. The count at 0-2 to Hayden Jaco.
Keys looking for a strikeout here in this trip to Hayden Jaco. Has 7 in the ball game so far, looking for number 8. He's racked up the punch-outs in this contest, despite the fact that the other categories have been a little more inflated, like pitch count and walks.
Jaco is over 2 with 2 groundouts. Keys. More inside. This one fired back just past the infield. It'll reach the glove of Victor Plaz for the first out in the top of the 6th.
Routine play there for Victor Plaz. Good pitch from Travis Keys. Got one up and in towards Hayden Jaco, and that's one he likes to hit, but it was too far up and in, which allowed the pop-up, and now we're going to have a pinch hitter here for the Barrie Baycats. That is Rick Phillips coming into the ball game.
So Rick Phillips in place of Noah Hall. And we'll see how that shakes things up defensively, potentially. Noah Hall playing in left field.
Phillips listed as an outfielder as well, so you'd assume that he would go straight out there. Hitting .246 on the season is Phillips. A home run, 5 runs batted in, 10 walks, 12 strikeouts.
Noah Hall was 1 for 2 on the day. Hayden Jaco now 0 for 3. Get a first look at Rick Phillips. Ball towards the outside will catch enough of the box for the umpire to call a strike. 0-1. Umpire says he did go, Rick Phillips, so Phillips down 0-2 in his first appearance of the ball game. Travis Keys with a nice pitch inside to the Ohio man, Rick Phillips, with a few Americans on this Barrie team.
Good breaking ball there from Travis Keys. Lots of sweeping movement on that pitch, and Phillips couldn't resist it. First base umpire Bob Blake saw the swing.
Only 1 out, so Phillips has some room to work with. This ball in the dirt. Count square at 2 apiece. Excuse me, 1-2. The umpires all in red today as well. Looking snazzy scattered across the infield as a nice breaking ball. Got a swing from Phillips. He'll take it off, though. Keeps himself alive. Count remains at 1-2.
Phillips had a hard time waiting back for that breaking ball. Did just enough to get a piece of it. It was a slow winding curve. Keys has 2 kind of breaking balls. One that sweeps a little more aggressively, has tighter action to it. That one a loopier curveball.
Phillips will take a swing at this one. It's going to drop into shallow left field. Gets over to Starling Joseph. The base runners will advance. The ball thrown back by Joseph. Got past Tommy Reyes-Cruz, but slow enough for Travis Keys to slow things down. And we'll see if the Majors make a pitching change potentially. Doesn't look like it. Potentially, actually, Dylan, Rup Chanada coming over to have a word now with Travis Keys. So this shakes things up, and interestingly enough, in the outfield, the sun has made a rather unique shadow pattern scattering across. So some areas of sun, but a lot of shade now.
Travis Keys looks like he's got no interest in giving up the baseball right now. And sometimes we see Majors skipper Roop Chanadak go out there to just talk things over with his pitcher and not necessarily take them out. It looks like that's what we're seeing here. It's a big spot, and there's a lot of trust being shown by the Majors skipper in his pitcher right now because you've got 2 runners on, you've got 1 out. It's the number 9 hitter in the order. So if he doesn't get McQuinn here, things flip back over to the top for Ejo and McGarry Doyle, who are very successful this year. So a huge opportunity for the Baycats, and as mentioned, a ton of trust being put in by the Major skipper, Roop Chanadak here.
Brad McQuinn 0 for 2 on the day with a strikeout and a ground out. And Travis Keys in a quandary. Trying to get the Majors out of a pickle on the top of the 6th. Bunt attempt is not far enough. DeOlio collected it anyways. So Adam Odd has to make his way back to second.
That one bunted off the leg there of McQuinn for the foul ball. Baycats just trying to push these 2 runners in scoring position, though there would be 2 out if the sacrifice is successful. A single would score them both in one fell swoop should they both get to second and third.
Home plate umpire just dusting off the home plate. And really any ball here that McQuinn is able to get past the infield should potentially advance the runners and maybe even score Adam Odd at second. The 0-1 with 1 out. Keys with a nice pitch. High and outside, and caught a swing there from Brad McQuinn, down 0-2.
Really good job by Keys here in this lefty-lefty matchup. He's sitting at 113 pitches trying to get what would be a massive second out.
Keys takes a look back at second. This ball is in there, a bit more inside this time, but the positioning of DeOlio made things a bit more awkward, so it will be a ball. Count at 1-2.
That one in the dirt, a bit of a waste pitch there from Travis Keys. Just trying to get the chase from McQuinn, and the result was no swing. Didn't seem very interested in going after that one.
The toss to McQuinn with 2 men on for the Baycats. Takes a hard hack at that one. It will get by him. A nice pitch from Keys, fooling McQuinn and striking him out for his 8th of the day.
Huge pitch there for Travis Keys. Phenomenal job in that at-bat, generating the strikeout. The pitch sequencing was perfect. He kept McQuinn off balance the entire time and eventually blows a fastball by him on pitch number 115 for the game.
Ejo hitting close to 400 though. And this would be a really good time for the Baycats to draw level with 2 men on. Baycats were left in a position where they left 2 players on base previously, as that one gets a swing from Ejo for strike 1.
Good action on that pitch there from Travis Keys. Gets the chase from Kinesijo. Still some sharp break on his pitches, despite how many he's thrown tonight.
1 more out required for the Majors and Travis Keys. Takes a look over at second. This one also swung on by Ejo, down 0-2. Travis Keys is a pitch away.
Similar pitch there, getting the swing to what he got on the first pitch. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Went back to the well twice with a couple of breaking balls. I think you stick with the soft stuff here if you're Keys, though perhaps you place it a little bit differently. Maybe a change up on the outside part of the plate if he's able to finagle that.
Baycats trying not to leave 2 men on and capitalize on a good offensive possession. This ball was sliding inside. Ejo watched it all the way through for ball 1.
Same pitch as the first 2 from Travis Keys. He tried to get another chase from Kinesijo, but was not tempted by the third such offering as that one misses for ball 1. Now let's see if he switches things up as Ejo has proven that he can lay off that pitch.
The 1-2 to Ijo. Gets a swing and a cheap foul off to the left, keeping himself alive. 1-2 remains.
Took something off of that pitch, did Travis Keys, and Ijo just got a piece.
Crowd starting to heat up a little bit in London, showing support for Keys. Looking for this third and final out at a vital time for the Majors. Keys shaking his head a couple of times towards DeOlio. DeOlio will take a second for himself, as well as Keys.
Keys and DeOlio know there's a big pitch coming up here, and they're trying to get on the same page for what they want to do to attack Kenise Ijo.
The 1-2 from Keys to Ijo. This ball in the dirt. Count it 2-2 with 2 outs and 2 men still on.
The game plan here is to not get anything up in the strike zone that Ijo could handle, as he's missed low a whole bunch here to Ijo in the dirt quite frequently, just really focusing on getting those pitches in an area where Ijo could not get a big chunk of the baseball, and the past 2 offerings he's missed the zone because of it.
A huge face-off here between Ijo and Keys. Keys, strike 3 called! Strikeout number 9 on the day for Travis Keys. And retires Ijo. The Baycats leave 2 men on, and the Majors get out of a tough situation. Remain the lead 5-3.
Really, really good pitch there from Travis Keys. After 4 straight breaking balls, Ijo was clearly thinking soft stuff the whole way. He comes back with a fastball, surprises him on the outside corner, and gets a massive, massive punch-out.
For more on the game and the day today, we're going to send it down our friend Justin Koehler. Justin, what do you got for us?
So we talked back in the 3rd inning about the Hall of Fame induction ceremony that happened before today's game. We talked about the first inductee, Alf White. Now it's time to talk about the second inductee, Frank Coleman. Frank spent a few seasons in the IBL before actually making his way up to the major leagues as well, so he appeared in the show. But during his time in the IBL, his best season arguably came back in 1936 when he took the MVP and led a bunch of categories when it comes to hitting and pitching as well. So he was a two-way player during his time in the IBL. And when he did make his way up to the show and he did get called up, he ended up playing 217 games split between Pittsburgh and the Yankees as well. And he actually was part of the 1947 World Series champion Yankee teams as well. It's a lot under his belt. And when he ended up wrapping his time up in the majors, he ended up coming back to London, and he bought the majors as well with his brother, so he was co-owner of the team. And he also ended up establishing the Eager Beavers Baseball Association, which is still working to support youth baseball here in town all the way to this day. So it's no surprise that he's a member of the London Sports Hall of Fame, as well as the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame as well, on top of his Hall of Fame induction just earlier today as well. So let's send it back up to Ty and Dylan in the Game Day London press box. And gentlemen, 2 incredible Hall of Fame inductees for the London Majors.
2 incredible inductees indeed. Thanks so much for that, Justin. We honored them earlier before the game in a nice, lengthy presentation. Heard a lot about the history of the 2 players and what they meant to the city of London and the sport of baseball as a whole.
Absolutely, Ty. Frank Coleman, Justin mentioned it, established the Eager Beaver Baseball Association, which still goes on. House League programs. They're a feeder organization for the London Talons minor baseball team as well. Their All-Star Day is Frank Coleman Day, and that's when they have All-Stars from all of their age groups come out to Labatt Park to play some games.
So Carlos Sano on the mound still, as that fastball draws a hard swing from Gibson Kresminski. He's down 0-1. Had a 2 RBI hit in his last outing, Gibson Kresminski, and really opened the game up for the Majors, allowing them to take the lead. The 0-1 to Kresminski. Fastball. Inside dipping. Looked like it hit the dirt in the end, Dylan. Count at 1 apiece. Kresminski did not go.
Yeah, Kresminski thought about it, but it was pretty clear he did not swing. The Baycats checked it just in case, but he wasn't really close. The
1-1 from Ijo. from Sano. That fastball too low. Count it 2-1.
Good lead there from Gibson Krasminski, a pitch that had some sharp break downward on that offering, but he did not chase it.
As this one is hit back into an ambiguous area. What a catch! Screaming across the field was Noel McCary-Doyle. And just bolted in at the correct time, sliding down on one knee, was hit over to right center. And a tough out there from Gibson Krasminski. Just an epic defensive play to end that sequence.
Fantastic play there by Noel McCary-Doyle. That was a similar spot to where Gibson Krasminski hit his double earlier on in the ball game. McCary-Doyle had a long ways to get to that baseball. I actually wasn't looking at him when I was tracking that thing from up here. I was looking at Kenise Ejo. It was going to be way too far for Ejo, but McCary-Doyle, using his range, his speed, slides in and makes a fantastic catch.
Definitely saving at least a single, at most a double there. As Brad Verhoeven checks back in, 0 for 2 on the day. Flew out and ground out in his last two. Working the fastball now as opposed to the sliders. That hit from Verhoeven taken. Awkward bounce. It will draw Macabrota off the plate from a wild throw over. My goodness, from Brad McQuinn, and just like that, the Majors have a man on second. Brad Verhoeven miraculously makes his way over to 2.
That looked like a routine ground out there for the Majors that should have been the second out of the inning, as Verhoeven will get lifted for a pinch runner in Champ Garner, but McQuinn just yanked the throw, and it was off the bag for Macabrota. Couldn't make the grab all the way to the Barrie Baycats dugout, and the result is now a runner in scoring position as things turn over to the top of the order.
Drew Lawrence has gotten base all 3 at-bats today. Walked in his first, had a bloop single in his second, and an RBI single in his third. Quite a fantastic day for him. Majors only 1 out. Have options to work with, and the very speedy Champ Gardner sits at second. Sano continues to look back over, not afraid to stare at Gardner. Fastball well inside, watch out there. Lawrence had to be quick. The pitch got behind Hayden Janko, and Champ Gardner will advance to third. Majors have another player in scoring position.
Good awareness there by Champ Garner and good reflexes by Drew Lawrence. Gets out of the way, and that one will go all the way to the backstop.
Champ Garner at third. Some humorous chants from the Majors fans. They are quite witty as this fastball upstairs jammed Drew Lawrence a little bit. Tough area for him to take a swing at it. He did in the end.
That's what got my laugh there, Ty. The chant was "You're not Eddie" from the whole crowd at Hayden Janko because he couldn't come up with that fastball.
You're not Eduardo Di Olio, just to be clear for all the folks at home. The Majors fans think presumably would have made that catch.
Optimistic assumption. That was a pretty hot fastball.
That was a tough play.
Yeah, it absolutely was.
Even for an all-star catcher. 2-1. A nice slider there. Ball had movement on it. Looked potentially like a fastball at first. Dropped it nicely towards the right in the end on Drew Lawrence. Count it 2-2.
Caught Lawrence off guard. Good breaking pitch there from Sano. Finds the zone.
Garner still at third. Fastball in there for strike 3. And strikeout number 3 in the day for Carlos Sano. Sitting down Drew Lawrence for the first time this evening.
Sano, not a big strikeout guy, and we've seen that so far in the ball game. Has generated a lot of his outs via ground balls and pop-ups. Right there, really good fastball in the outside corner to Drew Lawrence, and a massive out after the error that allowed Verhoeven to reach, and then Garner moves up on the wild pitch after he came in to pinch run. That was his only course of action with Drew Lawrence to play. He needed to strike him out in order to keep Garner at third. He does just that.
So back in now, Tommy Reyes-Cruz at the plate. 0 for 3 on the day. As this one hits, I believe it was a hit by pitch, so Champ Gardner will make his way back to third base. Reyes-Cruz gets on at first off, I believe, a pitch that ticked the side of his shin.
Yeah, Majors manager Rup Chanadad is going to come talk things over here just to clarify with the home plate umpire Justin Snively topping. A very, very quick conversation. I think Rup was just looking for the decision. And obviously they ruled that it hit Reyes Cruz. It was pretty clear that it did because of the hop that it took once it found the dirt, right? It's not going to hit a stone and bounce so far towards the Majors dugout. It clipped Reyes Cruz, and the result is he gets to reach.
Majors paint the corners now with 2 outs. In the bottom of the 6th, Caden Cardoso steps back in. Had an RBI single in his first outing, the only hit of the day, but good enough to advance him to a 19-game hit streak. Fastball. Shot behind him for ball 1.
I like that challenge from Sano, even at 96 pitches before that last offering. He's willing to go with the fastball against one of the best hitters in this Majors lineup, not shying away from the big matchup.
Takes a second for himself there. Only 1 out required to sit down the Majors the 6th inning. And Barrie really can't allow too many more if they want to stay in this contest. Fastball upstairs for ball 2. If you recall, out of the 4 losses in their last 10 games for Barrie, 3 of them, they've allowed more than 9 runs in those contests. The Majors are on pace for doing something similar to that. So to give themselves a chance, Sano really has to shut them down here in the 6th.
Sano trying to get out of this jam. It's not going to be easy. The next pitch will be number 100 in the ball game for the Baycats right-hander, and he's facing Cardoso at the plate, who always presents a challenge.
Pitch number 100 to Caden Cardoso from Carlos Sano. He will look back. We don't see the pitch. We see another pickoff attempt. Back towards Reyes Cruz. Macabro to make the tag, but to no end as Reyes Cruz was safe by quite a bit.
Risky play there, throwing over for Sano and the Baycats. If that ball gets away, that allows Garner to score. And with 2 outs and a 2-strike count on Cardoso, perhaps not the time to be throwing over to first.
That ball had nice movement on it. Broke inside towards Cardoso. Perhaps didn't catch him in the place he originally thought it would end up. But fouls went off, keeps himself alive. Count at 1-2.
Really good breaking ball there from Sano, as you mentioned, Ty. Lots of good movement on it, and a great job by Caden Cardoso just staying with that pitch, enough to get a piece of it and keep this at-bat alive.
Taking his time again here. Carlos Sano looking towards the patient Cardoso. Fastball, another swing, another foul off. Another 1-2 count.
Cardoso doing a really good job of battling with Sano here. There's been lots of tough pitches. Sano's thrown the kitchen sink at him, and Cardoso's been able to stay alive. Worth mentioning, Sano at 101 pitches. There is action in the Barrie Baycats bullpen. Once again, that is Braden Pacala.
Pacala has been warming up for at least 2 or 3 innings sporadically. So is Christian Coombs for the Majors. We're still trying to get out of the 6th, though. Cardoso will take a swing at it. It's going to make it fair down the right field line. Champ Gardner in to score. Cardoso over to second. And Reyes Cruz makes his way in there to also score at home. The Majors add 2. It's a 2 RBI double for the 19-game hit streak man, Caden Cardoso. Majors lead by 5, 7-3.
Phenomenal at-bat there for Caden Cardoso. He battled with some tough pitches from Sano. A lot of good foul-offs, good offerings from the right-hander that Cardoso got a piece of. And right there, he launches it into right field. A hard-hit double for the Majors, which allows them to push 2 more runs across and extend the lead to 4.
So in a tough situation, not favorable with 2 outs against him, Caden Cardoso comes up big and adds on to the Majors' already lengthy tally. Starling Joseph back in now. And a double in his last at-bat, but was picked off by Sano, turning around and throwing the ball at Brad McQuinn. Immediately followed by a flyout from Eduardo De Olio. Trying to make up for that earlier blunder. Swing at that one, low and away on a slider. Nice pitch from Sano. And another strike against Starling Joseph.
Really good action on that pitch from the right-hander. Sano had lots of sharp break to it, and Starling Joseph just waved at it and came up empty.
Still 2 outs here for the Baycats and Carlos Sano. The 1-1 right down the middle. A little far, I believe that was actually a little far outside. It will be called for a ball. 2-1 to Starling Joseph. Joseph was fairly confident about that last one, watched it the whole way. Cardoso still sitting at second. Sano keeps looking back towards Cardoso. Another beautiful sliding breaking ball outside. Draws a hefty swing from Starling Joseph.
Yeah, that one not even close to the strike zone, but lots of sharp breaking action on it, which got the chase from Starling Joseph. A big hack from the Majors outfielder. Came up empty.
Looking for his 4th strikeout here. And trying to limit the damage that the Majors have done in the 6th inning. The 2-2 from Sano. Finally sees a call that he likes from Jaco. Fires a fastball that is swung on by Starling Joseph, and finally retiring the Majors with his 4th strikeout of the day. Not before London adds 2 to their tally off a 2 RBI double from Caden Cardoso, extending their lead to 7-3. Potentially, we see Christian Coombs when we come back. Although the sun may be going down here in London, things are heating up inside the ballpark, so don't go anywhere. Dylan Baker taking over play-by-play when we come back. I'm Ty White, and you're watching Majors TV.
When you need a night out, Throw London is on point. With an atmosphere that's a cut above, Throw London brings together the best in knife throwing, axe throwing, and darts. So it's the perfect spot for a date night, night out with friends, leagues, and team building for the office. You've got to be 13 or older to throw pointy objects and 19 plus to enjoy their fully licensed offerings. It's the best spot in London for some fun with an edge. London's original knife throwing. Check them out at 2190 Dundas Street East and online at ithrow.ca. That's ITHROW.
Hello, my name is Jim Nuther with Nuther's Award Store. Come along with me on a virtual tour to take a look at our amazing products and services that we're able to provide to you to help you with your recreation needs.
Back here on Majors TV for the top of the 7th inning between London and Barrie. The Majors took a 7-3 lead, or extended their lead to 7-3, I should say, in the bottom of the 6th inning. And now a new arm out there, Todd. We've got a pitching change brought to you by Throw London. London's original knife throwing, and it is Christian Coombs taking the hill.
Christian Coombs appeared in 3 games so far this season. One of those appearances came against the Barrie Baycats back in that 14-9 victory the last time these two teams played. One on a record to his name, an 8.44 ERA with 5 earned runs total against. He's definitely looking to get that number down. And just over 5 innings pitched as well. A 2.25 whip, 5 hits against, including 5 strikes to his name. Strikeouts, I should say, sorry.
Noel McGarry-Doyle will lead things off in the top of the 7th inning. He'll be followed by Rio and Malik Williams. Travis Keys, his evening is done. A fantastic performance for him as he battled through some adversity. First pitch misses for ball 1. All in all, 121 pitches for Keys, who went 6 innings, struck out 9, walked 3. Allowed 7 hits, 3 runs, only one of them earned. Here's the 1-0 from Coombs. Finds the zone, 1-1.
And in an ideal game, Dylan, that pitch count will last throughout the 7th, 8th, potentially even the full game, the 9th inning, which we have seen a lot before from the Majors. That being said, against a team with the offensive firepower that Barrie has, very impressive performance to only keep them to 3 runs. Barrie, obviously, top 3 team in the IBL for a good reason, and Travis Keys made good work of them, had a strong performance today on the mound, and really continues to show us why he's considered to be one of the best in the business.
2-1 count here on Noel McGarry Doyle as the lefty Coombs deals. In the air, left field, Joseph tracking back. He's got room, and he makes the catch for the first out of the top of the 7th inning.
McGarry Doyle looking to get on base for the 3rd time today. Double and single. That was a hit that had quite a bit of power behind it. Made its way all the way back near the warning track. Fairly easy play in the end, though, from Starling Joseph.
1 gone to the top of the 7th. Now that'll bring up Ryan Rio, the designated hitter in the ball game for the Barrie Baycats. Rio 0 for on the day, sitting at 0 for 3. Pair of strikeouts and reach on a Victor Plaza error. Breaking ball to Rio for strike 1.
And that pitch had a lot of movement behind it, Dylan. Beautiful throw. Made its way all the way across the plate, completely to the opposite side of Rio on the left.
0-1, Rio gets a piece of the breaking ball, chasing after it, Victor Plaza to foul territory. That'll get into the concourse area there, a foul ball.
More of the same there from Coombs, almost precisely the exact same pitch, so an easier find there for Rio. Was hanging just a tad. So Coombs has got to make sure to clean that up and show him something different.
0-2 count, 1 out. Rio in the batter's box, Coombs out there on the rubber. The lefty kicks and deals. Rio puts this one right back up the middle, and that's going to be a base hit for the Baycats DH.
Yeah, just popped right back behind Christian Coombs, in between Gibson Kresminski and Tommy Reyes-Cruz in a perfect area. And Ryan Rio reaches base for the first time today. That wasn't an error. And a nice hit from him. The Baycats still have a chance here. I mean, 5 is a manageable task to come back from. 4 is a manageable task to come back from over the next 3 innings of play. But it'd be a good time to get started here, and the 4th time tonight, Malik Williams steps back in.
Rio stands over at first. Here's the first pitch from Christian Coombs. It will miss for ball 1.
Williams saw a lot of good action against Travis Keys. Was able to get 1 walk against him.
That one misses, and it's 2-0 here to Williams. That walk came back in the first inning on 4 pitches to Malik Williams. 2-0 count, 1 out. Williams looks out from the right-handed batter's box. DeOlio takes the mask off and will reset things before jumping back into the crouch. Not an overly aggressive lead from Rio at first. Here's the offering. That one finds the zone, and it's 2-1.
The umpire, in my opinion, expanding the strike zone just a little bit with the style of pitching that we're seeing from Christian Coombs. He's got a lot of spectacular movement behind those pitches. That one gleaming inside slightly, but he will get the call.
2-1 breaking ball finds the zone, and it's 2-2, so he's fought his way back to even.
Another pitch that had just ridiculous movement on it, almost reminiscent of a slurve there. Had a good amount of inside break and broke low too, coming from right to left.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch to Malik Williams, fouled straight back, and we'll try again on 2-2.
For just checking into the ball game here, a really good showing from Christian Coombs. Not making it easy on the experienced Malik Williams, as I believe he's trading up bats here.
I think he needs a little more pine tar on the bat, perhaps, yeah. Trying to make it a little bit stickier for himself.
Just fixing it right up, but he's having a tough time against Coombs. It was a good swing from him in the end to be able to keep himself alive, but I admire Coombs' confidence, throwing really tough technical pitches entering this game for the first time, obviously, this inning. And it seems like he's been out there all game.
2-2 count here. Coombs trying to put away Williams with Rio standing at first. The kick and the come home from the left-hander. On the ground, back up the middle. Krasminski plays on the backhand. Flip to Reyes Cruz for one. On to Cardoso. Call it two. It's a double play, and Christian Coombs gets out of the inning.
Well, what a start for Christian Coombs that was, and you can see how fired up Caden Cardoso was after the Majors turned the double play. A fairly easily hit ball, bouncing kindly over to Gibson Krasminski. Flipped it over to Reyes Cruz. I thought, Dylan, he might have been able to potentially step on the bag himself if he wanted and made that throw. He had the time, but played it safe in the end, and the Majors get 2 out to retire the side nice and neatly for Christian Coombs.
Good job there by Christian Coombs. Late in the ball games, the Majors often turn to Skylar Janice, and he was our very own Justin Koehler's pregame interview today. Here's that interview now.
All right, so I'm here with pitcher Skylar Janice. Skylar, right off the bat, how's your day going so far?
Fantastic. How's your day going?
It's great, thank you so much. So right off the bat, this is your second season with the team, with the London Majors. How did your approach change from kind of year one into year two this year?
So this year I just, took more of a leadership role. Me and Roop like to talk a lot about, the boys and how we're going to, keep winning, keep the streak going. And, the last year we struggled a bit, but this year we're off to a good start. So it's nice to just kind of get back into the winning ways that we're used to. So, yeah.
It's a great way to put it. Yeah, it's been a great season so far this year. And so next question for you. Pitchers often have a really big appreciation for some of the pitches that they can't throw. They wish they could. What's one pitch that you really wish that you could find a way to work into your arsenal?
Yeah, it's funny you asked that question. We were actually on the bus yesterday on the way home from Toronto, and I was watching the knuckleball by Tim Wakefield. So that would probably be one pitch I'd love to throw is the knuckleball.
It's always just so beautiful to watch, a good knuckleball.
Absolutely, it really is. It really is.
And last question for you. It is, of course, Canada Day. Yeah. And so with that come hats and some jerseys as well. How do these, the new attire, kind of compare with some of the other ones that you've worn in the past?
Well, we've had some great jerseys here so far this year. And honestly, in the past, even my pro ball career had some cool ones. But they're pretty nice. They'll see today, the fans, they'll love them. It's a good jersey today.
They'll be pretty great. I'm excited to see them. And so with that, let's send it back up to Ty and Dylan in the Game Day London Breast Box to continue with the rest of the game.
Hey there, my name's Will. I'm the owner of Throw London. This is some of the staff that helps us out here from day to day to keep things moving. We have other people that work with us too. They're not here today, and we'd like to thank them for helping us and helping you. If you're not sure what you'd like to throw, an axe or a knife, we can take care of that for you. We throw the axes, knives, we have darts, shovels. You don't need to do anything. You don't need any experience whatsoever. We'll take care of that as well. If you happen to win a league and you have that competitive side, you get your name on this League of Legends wall, which is amazing. If you like to have a cold beverage.
Brought to you by Throw London here to kick off the bottom of the 7th inning as Braden Pacala is out there on the mound to face Eduardo De Olio. We'll get you numbers on the Baycats left-hander here in a moment as the first pitch misses for ball one.
Yeah, appears like Braden Pacala has appeared in a couple games, only across 3 so far in this IBL season. 6.23 ERA against him, so we definitely will look to get that down. Has played against Toronto, Brantford, and Chatham-Kent this year, and Dylan also played college ball for West Virginia University Institute of Technology in Montgomery, West Virginia.
Native of Sudbury, Ontario, Braden Pacala, a young left-hander, born in 2003, turning 21 in September. Here's the pitch to De Olio. In the air, right field, foul territory, slicing away from McGarry Doyle, and it will get out of play, a foul ball, 1-2.
De Olio 1 for 3 on the day, had a single in his second appearance, grounded out in his first, and flew out in his third.
Behind him the count, 1-2 here to Pacala. The offering. De Olio scorches this one right back up the middle. Baycats lefty had to dodge it out there on the mound, and the Majors have a leadoff base runner.
De Olio just reamed that one again in that ambiguous area at second base between the shortstop Adamad and the second baseman Brad McQuinn. Got in there for a hit in the end. We've seen a couple balls hit towards that area today, and that makes him 500, 2 for 4 on the day for Eduardo De Olio.
So De Olio stands at first. That'll bring up Byron Reichstein. Reichstein really had the first hard hit ball of the ball game for the Majors back in his second at bat. It was a double to right center field. We'll see what he can do against the lefty here. Reichstein on the ground, foul, 0-1. Byron 1 for 2 on the day. A pop out, a double, and a walk in his third plate appearance. Pacala sets. Peeks over at De Olio and delivers. Off the plate outside, 1-1.
have to give a little bit of props, obviously, to Carlos Sano, who had a fairly decent game, but he's catching London at a bad time, coming in red hot into this contest, put up 7 against himself, I should say. Sorry for some technical difficulties there, Dylan, but he played fairly well, all things considering. Really had that fastball going for him, I should say, between the 3rd and 5th inning, it seemed like. To London really got a hold of themselves. And it seemed like he lost a bit of his gusto, started throwing some sliders, some different kind of stuff. So a tough position here for Bacala to make his way into the game. And London not slowing down, not taking their foot off the gas pedal.
Ball 4 is rained down as Reichstein puts a charge into this one to center field. Kinesi Joe has room, and he makes the catch for the first out of the bottom of the 7th inning.
Reichstein caught a good piece of that pitch. Hard pop off the bat, and he sent it deep to center. Inching back towards the warning track, but in the end, not the toughest play for Kinesi Joe for out 1.
1 gone for Victor Plaz now. Plaz is 1 for 2 on the day. Walked, singled, and struck out swinging in his 3 trips. Has DeOlio standing over at first. No action in the Majors bullpen, so you'd assume that the 8th inning also belongs to Christian Coombs. First pitch, Plaz sends a line drive out to center field. Ejo a couple of steps back and makes the catch for out number 2.
A bit of deja vu I'm having right here, Dylan, as back-to-back pitches slapped into the same area with similar velocity and height. Again into the glove of Ejo for 2 quick outs on quite literally back-to-back pitches from Braden Bacala.
So 2 gone, as you mentioned, Ty. 2 hit to pretty much the same spot in center field. Ejo a couple of nice grabs, and Gibson Krasminski will step into the box. 1 for 3 on the day. Drove home the go-ahead run for the Majors. Batting right-handed for the first time. He is a switch hitter. First pitch will miss for ball 1. Bacala trying to get out of this inning after allowing the leadoff base hit. It's sent into left center field by Krasminski. Kinesi Joe a couple of steps to his right, and he's got it. So 3 flyouts to Kinesi Joe retire the Majors in the bottom of the 7th inning, and they'll strand DeOlio at first. We head to the 8th here on Majors TV. Back here on Majors TV, get a look at the scoreboard. Majors lead 7-3 on this beautiful Canada Day. 11 hits to the 8 for the Barrie Baycats. Baycats have committed 2 errors. Majors only 1 as the sun begins to set at Labatt Park. We're about an hour out from fireworks here at the Forks of the Thames. One of the most special nights of the year.
And it's really a perfect night for this, Dylan. I mean, what a fantastic night for baseball. A full crowd here around the world's oldest baseball grounds. The sun setting beautifully towards right field. The back of those buildings, as you can see on your screen now, and just been a great start to this July and this Canada Day. You know who else has had a great start is Christian Coombs, who's coming to the game and really commanded the plate all across. Seen a variety of different pitches from him. Has a fantastic slider, a great breaking ball, and is just so technically sound on the mound. Looks like he's played, as I mentioned, looks like he's played a couple innings at least. For that to be his first appearance was really impressive. But now he goes against a bit of the heart of the order here, and he has 3 tough at-bats between Nolan Macabrota, Adam Odd, and Hayden Jaco.
So we'll see how Coombs fares in his second inning of work. Only threw 13 pitches in the seventh. Got an inning-ending double play ball. Macabrota 2 for 3 on the day. There's some movement in the Majors bullpen just in case, but no throwing yet. Jared Lund was throwing earlier. First pitch will miss to Macabrota, 1-0. Count. The lefty Coombs comes set out there on the rubber and delivers. Breaking ball. Macabrota waves at it and comes up empty, 1-1.
Did wave at it, a hefty wave at that one. A nasty pitch in the end from Coombs. Once again, traveling all the way from right to left and totally fooling Macabrota.
1-1 count. Here's the pitch. That one misses, and it's 2-1. A lot of those sweeping pitches from Christian Coombs. Here comes the 2-1 home. Inside, and that one's going to hit Macabrota. It never broke across the plate, and Macabrota will reach.
Now the sweep did not come that time. Instead, it belts the back of Nolan Macabrota, and Nolan Baccabrota, if you will. That had to sting.
I can't give you a real laugh on that one, Ty. That was not among your best work.
That was a tough pitch to take. Definitely had some good speed on it. As you mentioned, just didn't come across whatsoever, and a little bit of discomfort over at first now, Macabrota.
So the Baycats get a leadoff base runner as Adam Odd will step into the batter's box. First pitch misses from Coombs. It's 1-0.
That was really the first mistake that we had seen Coombs make all game long, or I should say throughout his first. And now second outing. The Baycats 1 on, no outs, and they really have to make quick things happen here if they want to crawl back in this one, still trailing by 4.
Trailing by 4 in the top of the 8th inning. This is their second to last at-bat of the ball game. Coombs has only thrown 1 strike on 6 pitches in this 8th. Here's the pitch. That one finds the zone, and it's 2-1.
Fittingly enough, as soon as you say that, strike comes high and upstairs. Nice sweeping ball towards Adam Odd. Odd's walked his last 2 times at the plate.
2-1 on its way. Inside, 3-1. Braden Farrington now getting loose for the Majors.
I think that was certainly a close call in the end. Didn't look too far outside from me.
Nonetheless, the count is 3-1 here on Adam Odd. A good spot to be if you're on. Here comes the 3-1. Fouled off, and the count now runs full at 3-2.
Good swing there off a ball that was likely going to get in there for a strike. And a good hack at it from Adam Odd. Fouled it deep to the left side of the stanchions. And keeps himself alive, full count.
A very excited fan who collected a baseball on that one. Full count, nobody out. Standing over at first base, Nolan Macabrota after the hit by pitch. Offering on its way from Coombs. Slicing well foul off the bat of Odd there, so we'll try again on 3-2.
Fouls that one off again to his similar area. Just a backspin on the ball, his release angle, and a similar pitch from Coombs created that.
No souvenir that time, went over the grandstand. Coombs trying to set down Odd. Here comes the full count pitch. In the air, shallow left field. In comes Joseph, it'll drop in front of him. And so a bloop single has put 2 runners on in the top of the 8th inning for the Barrie Baycats, and will bring up the big bat of Hayden Jaco.
So impressive outing from Adam Odd, reaching base those last 3 times in a row. The flip side, Hayden Jaco seems like he's due for something. 0 for 3 with 2 groundouts and a flyout for one of the most potent bats on this Barrie side. Definitely a fantastic opportunity for him here to move within even 1 potentially, Dylan, as Brent Wales makes his way out to the rubber, talks things over with the infield, as well as, of course, Christian Coombs, struggling a little bit now.
Braden Farrington appears to be ready or close to it out in the Majors bullpen in left field. And Brent Wales, you think he's just trying to calm Christian Coombs down here? What do you think the message is?
It definitely appears to be that, because obviously if you're the London Majors, you have a fairly commanding lead at this point. You don't want to do anything stupid. If they're going to bunt, if they're going to give you an easy out, you should take it immediately, considering you don't have any in this top of the 8th inning. That being said, you have to keep calm, and it's not to say that Coombs hasn't been doing his good job. He's shown already that he can throw really terrific, perfectly placed stuff. He has to do more of the same, get balls over the plate, and even that last one was a bit of a tough catch. The second time, actually, that Starling Joseph's hat has fallen off. And it was a tough run in the end, but certainly makeable. So Coombs, I don't say has to go in panic mode just yet.
First pitch to Jaco will be in the dirt for a ball, and they're going to switch out the baseballs here. Justin Snively Topping going out to the mound to talk things over here with Coombs and DeOlio, just making sure it doesn't count as a mound visit. And I don't believe it will. Seen a lot more trips for the umpires out to the mound with the catcher, just to double check that it should or should not count towards the team's mound visit total for a game. 1-0 count, peeking back at second is Coombs. Here's the pitch. Chopped over the head of Plaz, but a foul ball, and the count is now 1-1.
Good movement on that pitch, but not the kind of movement he was getting earlier, Coombs. That one fairly down the middle. I don't think broke exactly where he wanted it to on that sweeping slider. Hayden Jaco had a decent attempt at it, but luckily for the Majors, it dribbled foul. If you're Jaco, you're really just itching for one here. Over 3 on the day. That's so uncharacteristic of him.
1-1 is high. Snap throw. DeOlio, the tag applied, and it's in time to get him. Another back pick for Eduardo DeOlio as they pick off Adam Hahn at first.
He's fired up. Cardoso's fired up as well at first, and we've seen that all season long from Eduardo DeOlio. Baseball IQ off the charts, read his man perfectly, as the Baycats manager has a fair few complaints now to the first base umpire. It looked to be a close call, I can say at the least, Dylan. Not with 100% certainty, but a very close call. Umpire favored the Majors in the end, and really a gorgeous toss from DeOlio, no matter which way you cut it.
Josh Matlow, the Barrie Baycats manager, still unhappy as he strolls on back to the dugout. So a runner at second, 1 out after the back pick for Eduardo DeOlio. He continues to be phenomenal with those plays this season. Pitch to Jaco, fouled off, count now 2-2 with Macabrota still in scoring position.
Not to mention that was the vital first out of this top of the 8th inning for the Majors. Really needed one any way they could get it. And the all-star catcher came up big.
Coombs trying to put away Jaco here. 2-2, 1 out. Left-hander kicks and deals. On the ground to shortstop. Hit pretty hard. Reyes Cruz going to go to third. Here's the tag from Plaz. In time to get him. Heads up baseball from Tommy Reyes Cruz and Victor Plaz. Macabrota thrown out at third, and there's 2 gone.
Just textbook fielding here from the Majors. Fantastic defensive play, and Christian Coombs is really got to be thanking his infielders now because they have helped him get out of a really tough situation. Not all the way there yet, but a fantastic play by Tommy Reyes Cruz, not only fielding the ball properly, but also having the split-second decision and wherewithal to throw that ball over to third base and tag out another Barrie Baycat. 2 down, and they took 1 out of scoring position. I mean, it just doesn't get better defensively there from the Majors, and just more complaints now raining in from Josh Matlow and Jeremy Eulenbrock.
You know, I think that, I don't know who that was, Ty, with Matlow. It might have been Chris Lazar, kind of looked like him a little bit. There was a sweater on, so we couldn't really tell the number on the player, whether it was a player or a coach, but I believe whoever that was, not Josh Matlow, who's still in the ballgame, I believe whoever that was ejected from the game, went straight down the clubhouse.
Not sure, that it might have been Andrew White as well. Also the name, actually, of my grandfather, funnily enough. So, Grandpa, if you're watching.
First pitch misses to Rick Phillips. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss, 1-1.
Jim Coombs has really got to tip his hat here to his infield and reward them with a strikeout for their fantastic defensive play.
1-1, foul straight back, and it is 1 ball and 2 strikes here to Phillips. Coombs trying to put him away and get out of this inning. Jaco standing over at first base after the fielder's choice. Time called at the plate by Phillips, so he'll step out.
Phillips singled in his last outing, going 1 for 1 on the day. If you recall, he replaced Noah Hall, who was 1 for 2, and he's now playing in left field for the Baycats.
That one misses high to Phillips, and the count now at 2 balls and 2 strikes here from Coombs. You mentioned it, Ty, through the help of his defense. He's having a successful 8th inning. Good play by DeOlio, good play by Reyes Cruz. Here's the offering, breaking ball. Phillips skies this one to right field. Right side initially broke back. Now charging in. He's there in plenty of time to get the out and retire the side to a rousing applause from the crowd. Christian Coombs through 2 scoreless innings. And how about the defense by the London Majors in that frame time?
I mean, I have to say it really did bail out Christian Coombs there. He has to be thanking all of his infielders there. First, Eduardo DeOlio with the brilliant pickoff attempt over to Caden Cardoso, and then the quick split-second decision from Tommy Reyes Cruz to get out a man at third, and Victor Plaz was patiently waiting for that ball, says thank you very much. The Majors retire the side, and I have to say that last ball from Rick Phillips, it was a decent pitch from Coombs, but he chased it. He got out too far ahead of it, a little bit too ambitious, something that I think, in my opinion, was going to be a ball, and poked it into a bad area, right to the glove of Byron Reichstein, who didn't have to make too long of a run for it in the end, and an easy out for the Majors. So the Majors helping their pitcher out, calming things down for him, and maintain their lead of 4.
We've got a pitching change, and all pitching changes this season are brought to you by Throw London, London's original knife thrower.
When you need a night out, Throw London is on point. With an atmosphere that's a cut above, Throw London brings together the best in knife throwing, axe throwing, and darts. So it's the perfect spot for a date night, night out with friends, leagues, and team building for the office. You've got to be 13 or older to throw pointy objects and 19 plus to enjoy their fully licensed offerings. It's the best spot in London for some fun with an edge. London's original knife throwing. Check them out at 2190 Dundas Street East and online at ithrow.ca. That's ITHROW.ca.
Back here at Labatt Memorial Park, new arm into the ballgame for the Barrie Baycats is the right-hander Ryan Lacasse.
Yeah, spent some time over for Laurentian University, hometown of Sudbury, Ontario. Dylan, in 2024, he has a loss to his name, a 1.03 ERA, appearing in 5 games, over 8 innings pitched, 4 strikeouts to his name, as well as a walk, 6 hits against. And he's coming down here to try to shut down the Majors for his Baycats to be able to salvage some sort of scoring in their next outing.
So Lacasse trying to keep the Majors right where they're at. He'll have to face 9-1-2 in the Majors order. It'll be the DH Champ Garner, who came on as a pinch runner for Brad Verhoeven, Drew Lawrence, and Tommy Reyes Cruz. Into the windup, here goes Lacasse. First pitch will miss for ball 1. Into the windup goes the right-hander. Breaking ball will miss upstairs. And it's 2-0. We believe our center field camera may have shifted a little bit out in center. There are lots of kids running around, so we apologize for that. As that one misses high, and Garner is ahead in the count 3-0 to Lacasse here.
Loud and proud as ever, the ball 4 chance. Still here, as well as most of this crowd. Amazing. Getting really dark, but they're still here.
3-0's in there for a strike from Lacasse. Garner clearly had the red light, was not swinging. And the count is 3-1.
Something you pointed out, Dylan, the break. Lacasse, a very young arm, incredible. 2004 and born in late December, nearing on 2005. So a really young player in the IBL and on this team.
Ground ball to shortstop. That one's going to get booted by Adam Odd, and so Champ Garner will reach. We'll see the scoring on that one. It's already been ruled an error on Odd, which allows Garner to get to first.
Looked like a pretty routine ground ball in the end for Adam Odd. Bouncing a little bit too much for his liking, though. Tiny bit of a tough run and wasn't able to make the grab in the end. The speedy Champ Garner easily reaches first.
So Drew Lawrence into the batter's box, 2 for 3 on the evening. There's a couple of singles, one hit hard, one a bit of a bloop, a walk, and a strikeout looking. First pitch is there for a strike, 0-1.
And last at bat, really not Lacasse's fault. I mean, it should have been a defensive play made in the end by Adam Odd. Shown he can definitely get the ball across the plate. It's a decent fastball to his arm.
Breaking ball, Lawrence lines this one straight back to the screen. No balls and 2 strikes.
Very clean and crisp breaking ball there, high upstairs. A little bit inside as well to Drew Lawrence. Broke nicely, had a really good movement on it. I was impressed with that one.
0-2 home. Off the plate outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes here. The Hamilton Cardinals defeated the Welland Jackfish today, handing Welland their first home loss of the season. They were 9-0 previously at Welland Stadium, now 9-1 after the victory for the Cardinals. 1-2 inside to Lawrence, 2-2.
Lawrence is, or Lacasse, I should say, really working the plate, but a bit too far each way. That fastball well inside, threw a couple of fastballs well to the right as well.
2-2 home. Garner is running, hit and run is on, and it's a perfect one for Drew Lawrence. Diving stop at second by Carson Burns. The throw to third is high. It gets over the head of Williams. Garner charging the plate. The ball is out of play, and Champ Garner will come in to score. The Chaos Bowl continues here on this Canada Day, and the Majors extend the lead. It is 8-3.
I mean, it really does. Just as I was about to compliment Brad McQuinn as he was caught out going a bit far left, came towards the right side, diving play on his knees to potentially stop a runner from progressing even further in Champ Garner, but then the throw was just way over the head of Malik Williams to make in the end, and just like that, the Majors had another one, leading now by 5.
So Drew Lawrence will reach. That was Carson Burns, actually, at second base, who took over as a defensive replacement. We didn't get that announced in the park. I just noticed it when I saw the number 3 on his back when he tried to make that play. So it'll be ruled a single for Drew Lawrence, and then Garner advances to third on the play and scores on the error by Burns, who airmailed Malik Williams. Runner over at second for Tommy Reyes-Cruz. Here's the pitch, in there for a strike, 0-1.
So one already scored. No outs for the Barrie Baycats here in the bottom of the 8th. Majors is trying to do even more damage. Reyes-Cruz got on base for the first time last outing with a walk. Other than that, he's 0 for 3.
1-1 the count here as that one misses high. On at second in scoring position is Drew Lawrence. That one will miss, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike here to the Majors shortstop. The 2-1 home. Swing and a miss, strike 2.
Nice pitch there, getting his stuff more under control now, working it a little bit more inside. Of course, the umpire to make some calls regardless and draw some swings. He got Reyes-Cruz there.
2-2. Lacasse looking for the first out of this inning. Breaking ball will miss, and it is full now at 3 balls and 2 strikes. I believe I just heard a firework off in the distance to tie.
Yeah, that's inevitable, Dylan. They were going to come in at some point here.
This is not one of the Majors' fireworks here, one of the City of London's fireworks. It is another firework somewhere in the area. 3-2 home. Reyes Cruz fights it off and will try again on the full count.
And he's shaking his head there. That one was, I think, well upstairs. The catcher, Janko, even stood up in the end. Nonetheless, he took a hack at it, kept himself alive. Has to be cautious here, though, because a lot of rather wild balls outside from Lacasse.
Hit hard towards first. Macabroda waits for the hop and will run it over the bag himself for the first out of the bottom of the 8th inning, but Drew Lawrence will make his way to third and put himself 90 feet away from scoring.
I think it's pretty clear-cut that the best fielder this game for either team has been Nolan Macabroda. I mean, that ball was coming in with some considerable speed towards him at first base, put his body behind it, the correct positioning, made the play in the end, and calmly got to first. He also had a couple sliding plays for balls hitting ambiguous areas between first and second. He's been really clean defensively all game.
Caden Cardoso in the batter's box here, 2 for 4 on the day. First pitch will miss for ball 1. Home plate umpire Justin Snively-Topping will clean off the plate here.
Cardoso, a really impressive game. Not only did he reach that 19-game hit streak, 3 RBIs to his name, an RBI single in his first at-bat. In his latest at-bat, his 4th, a 2 RBI double. In a position where the Majors also had 2 outs against them.
1-1 count here to Cardoso. Drew Lawrence stands over at third. A late "Let's Go Majors" chant here. Inside in the dirt, blocked by Jaco, and the count is now at 2-1.
And this crowd is not taking their foot off the gas. They're very impressive, and if you can see really down even towards 330 left field and right field along the foul territory, fans crowding each side, watching over a really fantastic baseball game it's turned out to be tonight. Lots of people back in right field too, in the outfield I should say.
2-1 home. Swing and a miss, 2-2. This game certainly not one of the shorter games we've had this season. Up at 3 hours and 20 minutes on the broadcast, about 3:10 on the game itself. 2-2, 1 out. Pitch to Cardoso. Breaking ball will miss high. And the count now runs full.
Lacasse had some choice words for himself there on the mound. Really difficult outing for him so far. Not able to quite get the grasp of that breaking ball properly. And that one was just way too high.
3-2 home to Cardoso. Popped up. Foul territory right at home plate. Hayden Jaco tosses away the mask, makes the catch. And there's 2 gone now in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Took an attempt at it in the end, Caden Cardoso, but pretty easy catch for Jaco. The ball had a bit of movement on it, but didn't travel very far.
Starling Joseph will now step into the batter's box. 2 for 4 on the day as Braden Farrington loosens up in the bullpen. Joseph a pair of doubles I should say. A pop out and a strikeout. Saw Braden Farrington loosening up in the Majors bullpen. He does have a Canada Day glove, but he's not warming up with it. Pitch from Lacasse. Joseph lines that one straight back at the screen, 0-1.
I think at this point in the game, Lacasse just has to try to stick to that fastball. Working across the plate, a little bit more inside. His breaking ball has been a little too unpredictable. Bit all over the map.
Here's the 0-1 home. Upstairs, 1 ball and 1 strike. Lacasse has thrown 25 pitches through 2/3 of an inning. 13 of them strikes, right around 50%. The 1-1. Joseph hits this one hard to left field. Charging in is Phillips, and he will make the catch to retire the side. We are through 8 complete here at Labatt Park. Majors looking to close out a win when we come back. As Country Roads take us home over the loudspeaker here in the 9th inning, Braden Farrington on into the ball game for the Majors. The right-hander rocking his green glove and making appearance number 6 on the year.
Yeah, what an opportunity this is to come in and close things out for him. Native of London, Ontario, obviously, so big game for him in front of this home crowd on a beautiful Canada Day. What a way would be to end it for him. He's appeared in 5 games with a 1-0 record, just over 5 innings pitched as well, so really about 1 inning per. A 180 ERA, 160 whip, and a very respectable player on the mound. As you just got to hear this crowd right now, folks.
This park is packed. These fans are having a great time with their Majors leading by a score of 8-3. And the home stretch here at Labatt Memorial Park, it will be Carson Burns into the batter's box. He took over as a defensive replacement for Brad McQuinn earlier. It'll be 9-1-2 for Barrie. Burns, Ejo, McGarry Doyle. This is not a save situation for Braden Farrington. The Majors having a 5-run lead, but a chance to finish off this contest. First pitch to Burns will miss for ball 1. Not the first time Farrington has seen this Barrie Ball Club. Got the win in the last contest between the two sides, as you pointed out to me earlier, Tom.
Yes, out of the 6 pitchers that appeared that game, he was credited with the win. No stranger to facing the Baycats side. That being said, the Baycats really have their work cut out for them. Need a bit of a Canada Day miracle if they were to make any sort of comeback here late in the 9th.
Swing and a miss there from Burns. Count now at 1 ball and 2 strikes. The right-hander Farrington kicks and deals. That one misses low, 2-2. This season, Carson Burns is hitting 167. Skies this one. Just past the cut of the grass into the outfield. Tommy Reyes Cruz calls everybody off and makes the catch. 1 gone in the top of the 9th.
Nice pitch from Farrington there. I don't think it was the opportune one for Burns to swing on. Didn't get the right contact with it, as you can see in the end. Just plummeted straight down into the glove of Tommy Reyes Cruz, who has played a great defensive game as well. First out, 2 to go to the Majors.
Kadisi Joe into the batter's box now for the Barrie Baycats. 1 for 4 on the day, including a pair of strikeouts to his name. First pitch from Farrington. That's there for a strike, 0-1.
That looks like a closer who's ready to come in and deal the good stuff. Very tight, disciplined fastball. Works that outside corner.
0-1 breaking ball. Can't find the zone. 1 ball and 1 strike here.
I like that pitch. Similar position. Was looking for a chase. Obviously a bit of an optical illusion to the batter there. Look for Ejo to run after it. He didn't in the end.
Breaking ball will miss. 2 balls and 1 strike here to the Baycats center fielder. Two 1 count, 1 away. Farrington kicks and comes home. Swing and a miss, 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Crowd getting into it, trying to cheer on Farrington. The 2-2 in the dirt, 3-2.
Got a little bit excited there. Outside, way too far outside on that fastball. If I were him, I'd say Ejo's seen these outside fastballs. He hasn't seen one inside in a while. A clean-cut fastball high and inside, either to jam him or strike him out.
In the air, hit pretty well to left center field. Tracking back, Starling Joseph still going back, looking up, and that ball is off the wall. Ejo pulls into second. He's got a 1-out double here in the top of the 9th inning.
So I believe Farrington was going for a high inside fastball, but just left it a little bit too far out, enough for the prolific Ejo to get way more than enough of it than he really should have. and just belted one back to the warning track in a nice ambiguous area right between Lawrence and Joseph. Closer to Joseph, though, for a double.
So Noel McGarry-Doyle into the batter's box. Farrington in 11 pitches. There is action in the Majors bullpen. I believe that's Jared Lund, but it's a little tough to tell on these jerseys what the numbers are from afar. Here's the pitch from Farrington. In there for a strike to McGarry-Doyle, 0-1.
Nothing silly here from the Majors. Just take the outs that they give you. The ball over the plate, play smart defensively, and close this one out. You don't want to spoil your fantastic showing in front of this home crowd.
1-1 count here with one away to McGarry-Doyle. Can he see Joe off of second base? Majors are nowhere near him on the infield. That run does not matter to them. On the ground, off the bat of McGarry-Doyle. Gibson Krasminski to his left. Throw on to Caden Cardoso at first, and there's two gone now in the top of the ninth inning.
Not the fastest hit ball, bit of a moderate speed there off the bat from McGarry-Doyle. And a pretty easing fielding effort in the end from Gibson Krasminski. Over to Cardoso. The Majors are one away.
Can he see Joe getting the sliding glove over at third base? I think it's a funny time to do that. He's standing at third base unless he's planning on stealing home. I don't know what he's going to use it for, but he's got it nonetheless. For some guys, it's a comfort thing, right? So Joe picks it up, and he's ready to go at third as Ryan Rio stands as the last chance for the Barrie Baycats in this ball game. Farrington trying to put this one away. First pitch to Rio is in there for a strike, 0-1.
Good fastball, high outside corner. Rio watched it the whole way through. One strike away.
Here's the 0-1. Off the end of the bat of Rio, and the Barrie Baycats are down to their final strike here. It's 0-2.
Two strikes down now. Great pitch again. Acquired the chase. Not in the best position for Rio. A lot of the Majors fans are rising to their feet.
No balls. 2 strikes, 2 out here on Canada Day. Braden Farrington trying to send the home crowd happy. The right-hander sets, deals, popped up. Foul territory. Victor Plaz giving chase. He's got it. Majors win in front of the home faithful. They take this Canada Day contest over the Barrie Baycats by a score of 8-3.
Well, what a way to perform in front of this absolutely fantastic crowd. The Majors string together one of their best performances all year long. And of course, they do it against one of their arch rivals in the Barrie Baycats, keeping themselves in second place, creeping up on the Welland Jackfish. What a fantastic showing in the home crowd. They did a great job as well, Dylan.
Yeah, this crowd, Ty, phenomenal. All game long, right into it the whole way through, especially in that 4th inning when the Majors got on the board and took their lead. They were lively throughout the contest. A big, big victory for the Majors here today. On this Canada Day, they extend their Canada Day winning streak to the last 4 games and their Canada Day winning streak against the Baycats to 3 games as they defeat the Barrie Baycats by a score of 8-3 here today. We are getting set for our player of the game interview. Not quite ready just yet as the fans are excited for the fireworks. We will send it down to field level now. Justin Koehler is with our Nuthers player of the game, Drew Lawrence.
So I'm here with outfielder Drew Lawrence. Drew, right off the bat, spectacular game. Went 3 for 4 with an RBI. All across the board, what did you think of your performance today?
It was fun. It's fun to be able to show out when you got a lot of fans out here, and it's a dream come true, really. So I had fun tonight for sure.
Fun's the most important part for sure. And I know you in particular, you've had a tough time with injuries so far this season, even as recently as Friday when you took one right off the hands. How has it been kind of battling through all those so far this season and still succeeding in the meantime as well?
It's definitely tough to stay consistent with your swing when you're coming on and off injury, but I feel like it's going all right. I feel pretty good today, so I'm happy I was able to play in front of this many people on Canada Day.
And so, speaking of which, it wasn't just a great win against a team that you've been battling with all season long, but also a big win in front of a big crowd here for Canada Day. What's it like not only getting the win, but performing so well in front of this absolutely packed Labatt Memorial Park?
Like I said, I had a blast playing today, and I can't ask for anything else, so no complaints.
Perfect, and that's what we like to hear. And so, Congratulations again. Great work today. And let's send it back up to Ty and Dylan in the Game Day London press box to wrap things up.
Justin and Drew, thank you. A big win for the Majors here on Canada Day. Ty, Travis Keys got the start. A pretty good performance, but he had to battle through some adversity.
He definitely did. As you mentioned, close to 120 pitches through the first 6. I mean, that is really tough. But considering that you did it against such an amazing hitting team like the Barrie Baycats, makes total sense why they used 3 pitchers for the entirety of the game. And I thought Keys did extremely well dealing with the adversity, really showed why he's an ace on this team. Doesn't matter if he didn't pitch 7 or 8 innings. He got a solid 6 in for the Majors, enough to get them the win, and he did a fantastic job today.
Just quickly on the Majors offense, Ty, they struggled a little bit the first time through against Carlos Sano, the Baycats starting pitcher, but then in the 4th inning, they really took off and never looked back, playing 8 in this ballgame.
Absolutely. They blew it wide open in that 4th inning of play with 4th runs. A 5-run ending for that margin, 8-3 final. Did a fantastic job offensively. Obviously, they had a lot of hot players coming into this game, like the likes of Starling Joseph, Caden Cardoso, Drew Lawrence even. Those players really stepped up for them in this game. Now, in the last 2 games against the Barrie Baycats, they have 22 runs in those last 2. So they're playing really well against one of their arch rivals.
A good game for the Majors here today. They are back in action at home against the Brantford Red Sox on Friday night. They travel to Welland on Saturday and then are in Kitchener on Sunday. Well, that'll do it for our coverage here from Labatt Memorial Park. For Justin Koehler at field level, Ty White here in the booth, Director Clint Householder, producer Keegan MacArthur, and the rest of our Majors TV crew. Happy Canada Day. It's time for fireworks at Labatt Park. Have a great rest of your night, and we'll talk to you on Friday.
Your attention, please. Please do not get onto the field until you are told you can do so. Please do not get onto the